right, here we go. Mad Libs. Hey, it's
It's pork
okay. Hey, it's pork of
sandwich.
sandwich, and you're listening to The Giant.
Fuck.
Hello.
That's a good one.
I'm not even going to try to put that together.
Okay.
July the 2nd.
Yep.
It's 2019. It's the Giant Bobcast.
Hello.
These are all facts.
Pork sandwiches.
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Pork chop
That's-
sandwich.
Totally. Is that what's on the brain
I'd
Yeah.
go ham on that.
today? Okay. Thanks for listening.
Woo!
We'll see you next week. Happy 4th.
Oh boy.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey.
It's me, Brad.
Thanks for having me.
There's Jeff. There's
Hi.
Jason.
Yes, me.
Hi. Thanks for being here. There's Jan.
I'm Ben.
Hello. I don't have a camera on me. It's fine.
Ben, you seem to have shrunken a little
I
bit
have
this
shrunken a
week.
little bit. Thank you for having me. I'm Matthew.
That's the
Hi.
pillow. He took the pillow out.
Hello,
Did
Matthew.
take the pillow
Yeah.
out.
That's true.
Ben's on assignment.
Yes.
Are we still making that joke?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who said it was a joke?
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know.
How would you know?
I don't.
How would anybody know?
That's right.
But the assignment is, if the assignment is top secret, then no one would know if it was a joke or not.
My time for my biannual Ruin the Bombcast. I'll come in. Either be
Hey, man,
two.
you're welcome, everyone.
Aw.
I'm fine.
Thanks.
Good. I'm good today.
Okay.
I've cut out caffeine, so I'm gonna be on a
Oh?
good, yes.
Mm.
Been a week and a half.
It's gonna be a roller
Really?
coaster ride here.
Yeah.
What brought that on?
Wow.
E3 was kind of a study in excess of caffeine intake.
Yes.
And I haven't been sleeping well in a long time, so I spend like a good solid week and a half now.
Nice.
So usually on the Bombcast, I'm either too tired or too like amped up from Red Bull.
Okay.
So today I'm gonna
Are
be
you just
That's
right?
what that is.
perfect.
Are
It's
you
gonna
in
be
that
great.
even
are you,
keel?
Are you in the Goldilocks zone?
I think so. Like it's I'm totally habitable.
My
My body is habitable.
Any headaches?
No,
No-
honestly,
No caffeine
pretty good.
dependency?
Pretty good.
Okay.
I stuck to like one or two a day. I'm not like one of those coffee people where you're just drinking coffee all the day. It's been energy drinks, so I feel really good.
Well, good.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm like an energy drink in the morning kind of person.
That was mine too, but I
And then-
have been
And that's
sleeping.
kind of it. But
Yeah, but I've been sleeping so much better just cutting even that out. Like just no caffeine at all. Like
Yeah.
I'll go figure.
well,
7-8 hours a night every night this
Wow.
week.
Get
I
out,
know.
get out of here with
That's-
your
that's
health.
how much you're
Hashtag
supposed to get.
blessed.
Yeah.
Oh, it was never that much before. It was like 5 hours a night.
Hashtag rest.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's
Very
my
good.
story.
Very good. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's good.
Yeah.
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 Reached
Jan's
consensus.
good. I'm good.
Yeah.
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 6 months through the year now.
Yeah.
Halfway through.
Oh,
Mhm.
Jesus Christ. I'm not good anymore then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You look back upon your
Really?
accomplishments
Of
for the first half,
2019?
and you're like, fuck.
I forgot how old I was turning this year.
Nice.
I had to do the math today.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me, and I'm like, oh boy.
I thought last year. I told a lot of people I was turning 40 last year because we went to a big 40th like destination party.
Mhm.
I told a bunch of people I'm turning 42. We can go to Vegas in November, and I was actually turning 39. I did the math wrong.
Oops.
This is the year I turned 40.
Ah.
But luckily, I've
Write it
talked
down.
myself out of the Vegas 40.
How much time
Oh,
you got
man.
left?
Till November.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Well, you got
big
some time.
4-0.
Yeah.
I think now the plan is just
I thought you were asking more existential. How much time you got left?
You know, either or.
Yeah.
hey. Uh,
Existential pressure is mounting.
how old are you turning, Jan? Do you want to talk about it?
I had to remember again, 28.
Okay.
Yeah. Because my lady friend and I were arguing how old we were turning. And then she had done like a huge elaborate photo shoot that had gone wrong with birthday balloons that said 27. So we pieced that together and like, we're probably turning 28 this year.
It's weird how the older you get, though, the less the cardinal like every 5 year really matters. But apart from that,
Yeah.
like I have to do the math to let you know.
It's
I really
terrifying.
don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just I'm just
Why
fa-
28 is terrifying.
I don't know. I'm just looking past it now. I'm like, wow,
Hmm.
I'm scared.
30 was a rough one.
You should
That was
be.
a big mental break.
It didn't. Yeah. 30 was nothing for me.
Yeah,
It
30
just
was
like-
fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got about 2.5 weeks left until that particular dreaded milestone.
Mm.
30? 40 didn't.
And
Yeah.
I feel like I think
Everything's-
I've decided I just don't care.
Yeah. That's
Whatever.
That's kind of
You
the
will,
thing,
because
is
everything's
whatever.
going to start falling apart. at
Oh,
that
that
age.
started
Yeah,
already.
okay.
That started a while ago.
Yeah.
so
It's
that's
not related to.
Yeah.
well used to that already.
My lower back has been hurting a bunch lately. I wore compression socks the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, it feels so good. Just for body aches. Just for like, I'm not even like, I'm not in the NBA or anything. I just like, oh, my
You
legs
should
hurt.
get in it.
I should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Free
not too
agency
late.
is something
Yeah.
else
There's
right
a lot
now.
of money in professional
Yeah.
basketball. I don't know.
God damn it.
Yeah, they
KD.
do make a lot.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could buy all the compression stockings you want.
I think
I
they
think you
give
could probably
us-
get a sponsor that would probably send you them.
Right.
Muggsy Bogues. We just you guys decided on UPF 5'3", 5'6".
That's something.
Muggsy Bogues.
I think
that
5'3".
sounds about right.
I'm
That's
pretty
what it was.
Pretty
Yeah.
sure I'm taller than Isaiah Thomas too. So.
Okay.
Spud Webb.
Spud Webb, yeah,
He's
all-time
just
short guy
little.
league.
There you go.
Still good ball players,
Yeah.
I assume.
Yeah,
I'd
I mean,
start-
we remember their names. They had to
Yeah.
have been great.
I'd probably have to start overseas, or like the big three, and then I'd have to work. my
Yeah,
way
no,
up.
work for Ice Cube for a while, and then you get on the CBS television network.
Wait, what?
Excuse me.
It's a alternative basketball league.
Okay.
It's like a 3-on-3.
Oh, yeah.
Ice Cube is involved.
Ice Cube is one of the owners of
Yeah,
it.
You're saying that Ice Cube is our coworker?
I mean,
Oh,
he is.
man.
Yeah, sure.
Huh.
And
Okay.
it's like a few steps removed. I'm sure he's one of the part owners of this league that is then licensing through a deal. So it's not like he.
Do you think I could do the thing I do with certain other CBS personalities, where you go in like the company Slack or email directory and start typing their name
I'm
and
gonna
it
say
auto
definitely.
fills?
Definitely not.
Okay. I can't Slack Ice Cube.
No.
Man.
Ice Cube is not on our Slack.
Man.
Well, I mean, maybe he's considered
got
a
his own.
contractor. There's some external
it's
people
possible.
on the company Slack.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and search.
All right. We'll try that. We got a project after this.
Type in ice. That doesn't
Yeah.
work. Type in cube.
All right. Mario Maker.
Okay.
The second.
Yeah.
Comma super.
Uh-huh.
The 2.
It's out.
It's out.
It's out.
Yeah. It's out.
People are playing it.
It's here.
It's here.
They've made it.
Your
Yeah,
thoughts?
I finished the story
Thanks
mode.
for
Oh,
having
wow.
it.
How long is it?
About 60 levels.
Is this the
Okay.
one that they also like part tutorial, like teaching you stuff to build as you? play
Yeah,
this?
totally.
Okay.
The story mode
Okay.
is really like, here are a bunch of levels made included in the game that are really designed to show you things that the game is capable of doing. If you want to make levels, it's like a lot of levels built around unique concepts and ideas and stuff. So you can kind of look at it and go like, oh, okay. Like they pitched this as real, like it's got a ton of single player content, and they're not wrong.
Yeah.
But the idea of picking this up just to play that doesn't seem like it would be too appealing. Like these levels are not like, they're not great levels. They're great showpieces of what the editor is
Of a
is
certain
capable of.
concept, yeah. It's not like an entire package.
Is there,
as far as the
are
level
there,
is concerned.
exactly.
Are you unlocking stuff in the course of the story, or is it pure tutorial? Like if you opted not to play the story stuff and went straight to like creation, would you be?
There are like two things that you can unlock for level creation that
Are they-
make it. This is why I marathoned my way through the story to
Yeah.
get it done.
Yeah.
Was to unlock those two items.
Are they a big deal?
One of them I think is really cool. The other one, which is the one you get for actually finishing the story, I think is dumb and shitty and not at all what I want out of Mario. It turns him into a box maker, which we can go back to Steam with that box maker shit.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Huh?
I don't understand. What does that mean?
You can create boxes and throw them out as Mario.
There is a Steam
You can
Mario
add-
Maker
yeah.
ripoff called.
Box maker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got a separate podcast where we explain the jokes. There's a whole thing. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's like I'm not interested in that as an inclusion. It opens up some interesting concepts in terms of level creation and stuff if you're building around it. But
Is there any value in the? They've got this like frame of like the Peach's castle has been destroyed and you have to rebuild it. Is that fun? Is there any like?
I mean, that's the story mode. Like you're earning
Well, I know,
coins
but I
for
mean-
completing the levels that
Right.
let you build and there's a lot of busy work to be had in that overworld.
That's what I mean. Like, is there anything fun about rebuilding the castle?
Some of the writing
or-
is fun,
Yeah, okay.
but no, not really.
Okay.
Uh,
So don't buy this looking for a single player Mario experience.
no.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Like I'm just curious because the first game had like next to nothing in the way of single player stuff, right?
Well,
I mean, I know you could hit 100 Marios.
in terms of 100 Marios
or-
is user created levels, so
Well, I
you
know,
can still
I
do
know.
all that stuff.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm saying in terms of like levels that you are playing that are created by Nintendo.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't necessarily get like a Mario game out of this. It's
Right.
Mario levels, but again, they're all built around. Here are some ideas, like beat this level, and then here's some ideas that you can use in the editor yourself.
Not
if
try
you
it for
want-
yourself.
Yeah, totally. If you want to make something like this or whatever, it's like it's just kind of showing you what's possible. And it's really good at that. Like it's really, playing through that, you're like, oh wow, that's a really innovative way to use these pieces to do this, and a lot of it's fascinating stuff. There's also a more extensive tutorial this time around, just to kind of show you, hey, here's how to make a level. Here's how to actually engage with these tools and do this stuff. So I came away from my time with Mario Maker 2 so far thinking, wow, maybe the Wii U is truly the perfect console. They try to have
It was a Mario Maker machine.
totally,
essentially.
yeah. I mean, I haven't taken that disc out of that thing since it came out. Well, one time when we did that End of Miiverse thing, I popped in that Game & Wario disc. But other than that, like that's been basically what I've done with the Wii U since it came out. And it was incredibly well designed for that. The D-pad was good on the tablet. The tablet was good for creating levels, all that sort of stuff.
Good stylus.
Yeah, good stylus. Everything on the Switch feels like it's like one step away from that in a way that if you didn't spend a lot of time with the Wii U game, you probably wouldn't care. But it's a lot of stuff that's just like, man, this seems like
They had to take some shortcuts. So like
yeah, well,
circumvent
they had
some-
to. Yeah, there's a lot of UX, because they're like designing for. Oh, well, if it's docked, you need to play it this way. If it's undocked, you could be playing it this way, or you might be playing it this way. So there's a lot of like UI changes that they didn't do that they should have done if they knew you were using the touchscreen to create levels. There's changes they could have made to make that experience smoother. I think there are changes. Instead, it feels like they built around the idea of you creating levels with a controller. So a lot of the item selection stuff is built around a series of radial menus, which is like a lot faster if you're using the analog sticks and all that sort of stuff. Like it's way better than it was last time out. You could create levels with just the D-pad, analog sticks, all that stuff before, but you wouldn't do it.
Because you could always use touch. On the Wii.
Exactly.
There was never a situation on the Wii U where you could not use the touch controls.
Right. And so on the Switch, they have to plan for these situations where you are, or they do it. They put a little more effort into planning for situations where you were not using a touchscreen. And I feel like some of that came at the expense of the touchscreen experience, which is like crazy to me.
So you're basically having to use these newly designed 4-controller interfaces with a touch control. Okay.
So it's like you're touching the radial menu with. I bought a stylus.
Yeah.
And the stylus I had, I'd been using a stylus on like my iPad and stuff like that, and it worked great. And then I used the same stylus on my Switch. It didn't work for shit. It was fucking terrible. I had to like press down hard or double tap in a lot of cases. I was like, this is a deal breaker. And then Dan said he wasn't having that problem at all, and he recommended another stylus. So I spent another $15 on a different stylus, and that one works fine.
So that UK version never came out here?
Oh, they didn't.
No,
I believe this is the one territory that did not get that stylus.
Yeah.
Man.
And so buying a stylus that works got me kind of back on board. Like there was a day there that I was like, man, I don't think I want to do this.
Have you tried it with a finger?
Yeah. So I
How
switched
is
to a
that?
finger, and it was.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. It was fine.
Okay.
But it was a little less precise. It was just like not. It's just not great.
I could see it.
And then you're in a situation where you're playing undocked, and if you're using the default Joy-Con, you're using the D-pad, which is these split buttons, and that thing sucks.
Yeah.
So I bought one of Hori's Joy-Con replacements that has a proper D-pad on it, but it is not wireless at all.
Right.
It can only be used when docked to it, which is
Right.
fine. That's why I'm buying. That's why I'm getting it.
I've got one of those.
I
It works
bought-
out really well.
I bought it from Amazon. Doesn't work at all. Completely dead.
DOA.
DOA. Package was opened.
Man.
So I'm getting a new one of those today.
Okay.
Then sending back the broken one, and hopefully that one will work.
They have colors for those?
Yeah, I got the Pikachu one.
Okay.
Get the
Sick.
Pikachu.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I got a
I
Legend of Zelda one.
Yeah, I didn't like the look of the Zelda. or
Oh, I
Mario
thought it was kind
ones.
of cool because
Yeah.
it was a little subdued. Whatever.
Yeah.
Either way,
We
it's a mushy D-pad, but
Yeah.
it's like accurate.
Oh, is it mushy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's fine. It's anything's going to be better than those 4 buttons. So I found myself in this situation where like I'm creating a level. Also, like you could one-hand the Wii U tablet a lot easier with a stylus and hold it for long periods of time. The weight distribution on the Switch and the location of the analog sticks, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah. Well, the Wii U tablet had like a natural sort of
Totally.
incline to it.
Yeah.
So even on your lap, it would sort of be pointed at your
Totally.
face. Like, I can't believe we're sitting here
Yeah,
singing
well,
the praises
that's-
of the Wii U
I know,
controller.
it's fucking bananas. But like, so I found myself like hunched over a desk, like with the tablet flat on it, tapping out the end of this level. And then like, well, I got to test this part. So I had to like, like
Oh,
the
you gotta
D-pad
redock.
sucks.
Oh, man.
No, I just, at some point I was just like, fuck it. I'm not going to redock. I just grabbed a Pro Controller
Yeah.
and now I'm hunched over my desk, staring straight down at this thing, holding a Pro Controller on my lap, playing. And like, this sucks. This is this is a tremendous game. The additions they've made to the game are really nice, but there's just enough shit around the edges of it with this stuff that it's become frustrating, and it's a bummer, but whatever. I mean, I'll get used to it. It is what it is. And hope I think if this D-pad comes in and is better, that will make me feel like I'm 90% of the way there.
Yeah.
It really is at that point. Just like, well, weight distribution doesn't make it. It doesn't feel right to touch screen while holding it because you want to use both. And they changed stuff knowing that you wouldn't be doing that. Like the shoulder buttons, you would hit like L to toggle erase mode, and it was a hold on the Wii U, and now it's a toggle because they're expecting you to toggle, go erase stuff, untoggle. I wish you could turn that back. Like it's it's a lot of little shit like that that really I think they took a step back. It is a step backwards in terms of touch controls and all that other stuff compared to the Wii U.
Switch was a mistake.
I guess so. No, but all that comes at like the controller based level creation experience is like way better. Like they clearly spent all their time on that stuff. I don't want to create levels that way, and it doesn't feel good to do it. And I'll probably never want to do that. But for people who do, it is a much more viable way to do that than it was previously. So.
How's the online multiplayer? I hear really janky
it
things.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Like half the time when you hit it doesn't connect half the time.
The frame rate's really
Yeah,
bad.
like it's when you do get in, the lag is really bad. But I've had matches that were fine. Okay. But
very subject to network conditions.
Yeah. Well, generally, like I hit like let's play, and it sits there and tries to match players up, and then eventually a 30-second countdown timer shows up. That thing expires, and then it pops up and says communication error.
Oh, fun.
And
nice.
Dumps back to the menu. There's
like
no
a
way
minute
you can't
like,
back out once it starts searching.
Wow. That sucks.
Yeah, so those modes might as well not exist. Like they're just they barely work.
And Nintendo's online stuff is usually so robust.
Well, I don't know why the Switch has a friends list.
Yeah,
Because
I've heard that too. You can't.
There's
see
no
levels.
way to say, "Hey, show me my friends' levels."
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you actually serious?
You have to get their maker ID, which is a 9-digit code,
totally separate from.
which is totally separate.
Is that what I've seen people tweeting? I
It's
thought those codes
level
were for
codes,
levels.
level codes and maker codes are all
Wait, they all look the same?
Yeah.
What?
It doesn't matter. Like you just like, hey, search this thing. So
yeah.
So people will send a level code, and then I will go to their profile from there and follow
Just
them
follow
from
them.
there.
Okay.
And then once you're following them, they show up in a list. So it's like this extra step of just like, it again has that vibe of like Nintendo is not used. Like someone needs to take like an Xbox 360 over to Nintendo and sit down and go, you should check this shit out.
Yeah. Like even one with the blades on it
Right.
would get the job done.
It's bizarre, you know,
How-
that we're still
how can you not
we're
view
still
friends'
in this,
levels?
Right. Why have friends?
What?
You can't message them on the Switch. There's
Oh my
all you can do is
God.
go look and see if they're doing something.
Yeah.
Like this friends list on the Switch is fucking pointless. It's straight trash. So it's just, you know, Nintendo is being Nintendo at every step of the way with this thing.
Sure.
You know,
At some point, it
and-
stops being cute, though.
Yeah,
Like, this,
no,
this
it's
is
not.
no longer.
I'm not saying that like, oh, those funny guys.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm
Like
saying
this
like
is not. This is no longer like endearing in
there's
some
a-
kind of backwards
there's
way.
a
This
deep
is just
misunderstanding
Yeah.
of how people use games and the internet together. We've known that for a while. That's not cute. That's not excusable.
It
It's
is an
just
active
fucking
pain in
dumb.
my ass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's stupid. Game's great.
Yeah.
You know, like it's the
Talk,
you know the
talk to me about the improvements, though. Like,
so
like
I
what
think
exactly is
it's a
different?
lot of stuff that they took this opportunity to say like, hey, in the first game we mostly adhered to things you could do in the original games. This one they're just like, we added a bunch of shit. So it's like new themes that didn't exist before, like a desert theme. And so they wrote new music that's evocative of
Oh, cool.
like, what if there was a desert theme in Super Mario World? It might sound a little bit like this.
Okay.
And they've added the Angry Sun piece, which then you can turn it into a moon, which toggles nighttime versions of the levels. And sometimes at night, some of the tile sets will be like, oh, it's low gravity at night.
Huh.
And so you can create these low gravity levels and do all this other stuff. There are some levels where you will go through a pipe. Well, I think you can just set it up this way, but the way Nintendo has used it is like you go through a pipe and the level is then upside down, or you're in an area that is upside down. So you're running on the ceiling.
Oh, fun.
And the controls have flipped to make that make sense in a way that works. And so they've done a lot of stuff like that. They've also removed like all the cool amiibo costumes and unlockable costumes that they had in the first
That's a
game.
bummer.
Huh.
Like none of that's in there, which is really wild
Man.
because
Can
that
you
stuff
even-
was so fun.
Can it even read amiibos at this point?
I don't think
guess not.
so. I mean, I didn't hold one up, but I mean, you know, like who cares about amiibos? But also, like those costumes were fun.
Yeah.
I had to get my
well,
money out of this thing.
Yeah. Also, yeah. If you invested a bunch of money in amiibos, the idea that they no longer do anything.
If you invested a bunch of money in amiibos, like you deserve
deserve
what you
it.
get. Like at that point, like there's no, yeah. But those costumes were fun, and it's a bummer
Yeah,
that
totally.
they're not there, or something like that. The lanky fucking creepy,
Yeah.
pull up in the van Mario.
Skinny Mario.
He's gone.
Yeah.
He's not in there, which is
That's
like, you
probably
know,
for the best.
yeah, that's probably. But like, you know, that was an option. Like he jumped differently. Like there's stuff.
Oh, true.
Like, you know, it would have been nice if they would have turned that into like Luigi and given Luigi like, you know, the Luigi rules of he jumps higher
two,
but skids
yeah.
more or
Yep.
something. Yeah.
Little legs just
Yeah. Little kicky legs.
Yep.
You know, that might have been nice if you're like, oh, I made a Luigi level or something like that would be cool.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think that they've added some fun pieces. Like slopes are in it. You can create slides and all that stuff like Mario World style.
Seeing a lot of switches in the videos that I'm.
Yep, yeah.
across.
Everyone went crazy with the on-off switches,
Yeah.
which, you know, turns on or off blue and red walls or floors or blocks, basically. And yeah, right now, I think some of the first levels you see that Nintendo made for the story mode use that, and so I wonder if that's just inspiring people to make a billion levels that use the on-off switch. But you're seeing a fuck ton of that. They've added stuff where you can more easily. So like getting the camera right was difficult in the first game because if you ran to the right, it would always scroll. They've made it so if you kind of box an area in, it will treat it as a single screen room that does not scroll.
Oh, cool.
So you can create those in your levels. Like, oh, here's a single screen area that's meant as like, here's almost like a puzzle room or a combat room or whatever. And then you're out through a pipe or a door or whatever. And that's really awesome.
Is that automatic, or do you have to like?
Yeah, that stuff's pretty automatic.
Just from boxing it in?
Yeah, you can set auto scroll stuff and do that in a custom way where you're kind of making levels that scroll in different directions at different times. You can make vertical levels now, so you can go up or down. And you know, it's just a lot of stuff that like brings more versatility to it. They also added the 3D world tile set, which actually breaks compatibility, which is another interesting break from the first game where you could just switch tile sets at will and it would basically keep everything intact. Now it's like, hey, you're toggling on this one that is different and you can't go back, you know, or you know, I actually haven't experimented with it that much, but I think you kind of like, hey, if you're making a level in this style, you're in this style. You cannot toggle to Mario 3 from here and have it work because that's got the cat suit. It's got, you know, the Meowser. It's got the glass pipes that you can go all over the place with and throw fireballs into the pipes and shit. It's got the car. There's a there's a Koopa, like a little turtle dude in a car, and you drive the car.
Does that Super Famicom logo still show up when you jump in the car?
That's, I think, if there's so there's Mario Kart music in it, and those icons and level effects are tied to the sound effects.
Okay.
So you can tie a sound effect to the car that is play the Mario Kart music when I get in the car, and that makes the SNES logo appear.
Weird.
So there's also Super Mario Sunshine music in there, and if you choose to put that abomination into your level, it will make a GameCube logo appear when it plays.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, you know, it's just that's just how they did it. And they reworked a lot of the you know, those 100 Mario modes in the previous game have just been changed into just like endless. Like you start with a set number of lives and you just go until you can't, and they've got leaderboards and stuff around that. And that's an improvement. I think they've let you add more text to like a level description if you want. You have your name, but also now you can write a little bit saying like, hey, this level sucks. or whatever. Hey, you should jump here.
Might delete later.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's pretty handy. It's got tags for like if you want to tag it as like this is a speedrun level or this is a standard level. They've built kind of a mini Miiverse in there, so you can still put comments on levels and stamp them into specific spots in the world. So they've put that functionality back in, even though the Switch doesn't really have a Miiverse, and that's been good. Yeah, so it is
Can you stuff? Can you fave stuff?
You can't stuff.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
all you can do on people's comments is report them.
Okay.
Man.
Good.
Yeah.
Remember the Miiverse?
Right.
Yeah.
Remember yaing stuff?
Yeah.
Love to stuff. You can and boo Nintendo's own posts to the news channel.
That's true.
That's something.
Yeah.
I guess.
We'll get back at him.
You can also
somehow.
boo levels in this. So you can there's a heart and a broken heart at the end of a level. You can be like, man, this is fucking trash. Which I think is cold. Yeah, I think that all the gameplay and the parts and all that end of it, I think, is a significant improvement to the game. Like they've added in a lot of stuff that it doesn't feel, because they patched in a lot of parts over the course of Mario Maker 1's lifespan, and this has kind of all that and more. And I think the stuff they added makes it feel like its own game. It doesn't feel like, hey, this is all stuff they could have just done in a patch. Like, it feels like more. And it feels like a great foundation for them to kind of push forward from. I think I just, I don't know how like, if it was up to me, I don't know how I would solve the problem either, because I think it's a lot of weird problems that are just, because of what the Wii U was compared to what the Switch is, and a lot of that stuff, like, it's not an easy problem to solve on the like level creation stuff. So I think they did good work on the create with a controller stuff. I know Ben has been trying to get good at creating with a controller, but I've spent too many hours doing it the other way for that to ever feel good.
I guess we're going to need that if we're ever going to stream level creation, right?
Well, we can point a camera
it's
at a
either that or
Switch,
but that's not.
Hope someone
ideal
eventually
either.
gets back into the Switch modding scene and starts putting video outs into Switches again, because that company went bankrupt.
Of course, then you got to worry about your profile on a weird hacked Switch. Like,
I mean, it's not hacked in a firmware way. It's
I
hacked,
know.
It's just a port.
but I don't.
Put into it.
You can't juggle save data easily between Switches and that kind of thing. Is what I mean.
Yeah, you would just have to make that like, that's my Switch,
Like,
and it's got a weird port on it, and hope for the best. But I like it. It's been a lot of fun playing other people's levels, and people have done some really cool shit. It picks up where the first game left off, and I wouldn't call it surprising, I guess. You kind of know what it is going in. It is more Mario Maker. They've added a lot of really cool shit, and I wish the level creation was just like slightly tighter on the touchscreen stuff, or whatever. It's stuff like, hey, they added like the ability for you to have multiplayer level creation. Vinny was talking about this yesterday, because I hadn't tried it out yet, but I guess I'm not surprised. So the way they show that on screen when you say, hey, let's do 2-player level creation, is they show you handing a Joy-Con to someone else. Like, it's like, okay, turn the Joy-Con sideways and play. That is the only way you can do that. You cannot use a Pro Controller for that, which is like, what the fuck are you doing?
You know what they're doing.
Fucking up. Yeah. That stuff's frustrating. But yeah, I think it's a really solid foundation for them to build off of again, and I hope that we see the same kind of patch process with this game that they did with the first one, where they start adding more stuff. There is room on that UI for one more style to be added.
Do what must be done, Nintendo.
I wonder, because like, if you think
it's so far,
like 3D World breaks the compatibility stuff in such a way that I think paves the way for them to do a Mario 2 USA.
Mario 2 is so much further afield of the Mario mechanics than even 3D World is still about jumping on things to kill them.
Right.
Not jumping on things to pick them up and hold them over your head and run around with them.
There's some fundamentals
what
there
you could pull out of the ground.
I know, I would love it. I think they totally should do it, but it's probably going to be a lot more work, I would assume.
I would guess it would be.
It can't be done.
It's very different.
Can't be done.
It's too dangerous.
Yeah.
So Super Mario 2 in America was another franchise entirely in Japan.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what was Super Mario? Was there Super Mario 2
Yeah,
in
it's
Japan?
just more Mario 1
Lost
levels.
levels.
Was that the Lost Levels
Yes,
thing that
yes,
came out?
Lost
Okay,
Levels.
I see.
Yeah.
The really hard one.
Is wait, okay, the Sun is in this, but Phanto is not.
No
Is that
Phanto.
correct? Okay,
Oh, good. All right.
So there's still room for Phanto.
that's right.
Oh, there's not enough.
But if you can't put a key down, how do you do
Yeah,
how do you handle
exactly.
Phanto?
This is a
This is always coming.
thorny
never
set
stops.
of problems to solve.
Yeah.
Huh. People seem really into just sort of the social like challenge aspect of this thing. I saw people like throwing levels at each other and sort of throwing down the gauntlet all weekend.
Yeah, it's fun. Like that's the fun of it. I think, people got really hung up last time, I think, with some of our talk around it and us liking that first game, being like, oh, well, if you're streaming it to an audience, I'm sure it's way more fun. It's like, no, fuck you. Like, it actually, the fun part was sending this to friends and watching them play the levels and all that sort of stuff. Like, that's the excitement in this is like, hey, I want to watch you specifically suck at this level I made deliberately for you to suck at. And vice versa.
There's no way to sort of watch like a replay or something, right?
No, they
That
have
would be cool.
Yeah, they have leaderboards,
Like just to
and
watch
they
download Ghost Run type stuff.
They keep world record times for user levels and all that sort of stuff. But unless it's, I mean, I guess I haven't dug through every menu super hard, but I have not seen anything resembling like a replay. That would be
That
awesome.
would be fantastic if you like,
Yeah.
somebody challenges you, they can just watch what
Because then you can see, like, if someone's got a time of 6 seconds,
Yeah.
you can go watch it and go like, oh, here's the fucking weird thing they did to cheat this level or whatever.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna be. I thought I didn't need this in my life personally because like I got really into that Bowser stream we did a few months ago, and I was like, all right, I'll get what I need out of Mario Maker 2 from when we create levels on streams. But then, seeing people trash talking each other all weekend and posting their level codes and stuff, I was like, maybe I need to get into that.
It's cool.
Yeah,
it's a cool fucking game.
Seemed like some good.
I suggest using some on-off blocks.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Just try those.
Yeah,
I got one where you gotta get a turtle shell and then jump at nothing
Oh.
and throw the on-off block up, or throw the shell up at the block
land
so you
on.
can land on a thing and not die.
is the block off the screen or can you see it?
Now you can see that there are,
How's the sort of the conditional finishing stuff?
that stuff also
the-
unlocks. Like when you first play the game, you only have like a couple of them, but that stuff's really neat. That's maybe actually that might be the biggest addition to the game.
You have to be able to take a shell to the end.
Exactly. Yeah, it'll be like, oh, you must finish this Super Mario. You need to finish in the car. You need to finish holding a shell.
'cause even when we did
you
that,
need to collect 3 coins, 3 of the big coins before you can finish, or all coins, or you must defeat these 3 enemies before you can get there.
Do they tell you that when you start the level?
when you start the level, it shows it. And then there's a counter on the screen that'll say like 0 of 50. How many coins you need to collect.
how
or whatever
robust
it
is that stuff? Like, can you kind of create your own conditions, or is it just a set list that you have to pick from?
It seems
Like,
to
can
be.
you change? Like, does it have to be 3 coins? Can you set the number of
No,
coins?
you can set
Like,
the number
okay.
of coins. You can set it to all coins. You can set it to you must collect at least 30 coins or whatever. Like that, you have control over those numbers. And you could set it to you must defeat at least 3 bullet bills, or you must defeat bullet bills you wouldn't be able to do because they come out of a launcher. But like you must defeat 3 Bowsers to finish this level, or you must defeat all Bowsers to finish this level. So it creates a situation where you could hide those around the level and you have to hunt them down. A lot of the Nintendo-made levels that have things like that will actually start you out on the screen with the end of the level right there, and you can't finish it, and there's a pipe that takes you somewhere else, and then it's like, here's a single screen thing of like where the 4 coins are you need to get. You need to bounce off all these bullet bills to get the 4 coins, and once you've done it, then you can go back through the pipe and finish the level. To kind of illustrate like, hey, here's how this shit works, and it's really smart, and it's a fun concept. But you could use that in some really funky ways.
That's cool.
I ended up using it in one level to where you have to defeat a Bowser Jr. to finish the level. You could run right past him, but the thing is by beating him, you get a key. I want to guarantee that people have to have that key, because if you get to the end of that level, spoiler warning for this fucking level. If you get to that end of that level and you use that key and then go through the door on the other end of that key, you fucking die.
Just dead.
Just dead.
Huh.
And it plays the fucking Mario Sunshine music while you die, because fuck that game.
It's a death knell.
Yeah.
I saw one where there was a smash jump with the downward.
Yeah,
it's
like
called.
the butt stomp kind of
And
thing.
it's a big question mark thing, and somehow I don't know what they did, but you jump on it expecting a thing to pop out. It's a quick like sewer thing that pops out and jams you into the ground and smashes you to death. Right away.
Yeah.
It's just the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
So it seems like there's a lot of that kind of. I mean, the first one was pretty devious too. Yeah. Present company accepted.
Yeah,
No tricks at all on our levels.
Yeah, there's a lot of I mean, people made levels that I would never be able to ever finish in a million years.
You can still see the uploaders challenge though. The one the uploader used to beat the level that they made.
You can see their time,
Their
but you
edits?
can't see their run.
Okay.
So that's actually a change. You cannot. I need to double check, but it is. I don't think you can edit other people's levels anymore.
That's what I read.
Yeah, so
okay.
you might not be able to bring them, because before you could bring them into the editor and really look at them and go, okay, I need to do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that they've stopped that, which is awesome.
That seems really okay.
Awesome.
Seems like it might be a lot more difficult.
I mean, the downside of that is I could see it being kind of a nice learning tool to be able to poke
Yep.
around in more complex levels than you've made.
Sure. Yes.
But I also see the appeal of
That seems like something where you add a toggle that's like allow editing, yes, no, allow remixing, whatever.
that would be the right way to do that.
That sort of stuff.
I always thought that was the one way that people could get through these super hard levels, to see how they rendered it together, because otherwise, like, they're 100 blocks and you hit 99, they all kill you.
Well,
except for one.
like if that's the level, don't play it.
Sure.
If the level is you see 100 blocks and you just go like, oh, 100 of these, 9 of these kill me.
Yeah.
Just stop.
or spend years trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
That was my go-to. Damn.
Yeah, so it's yeah, a lot of that stuff is really well done. A lot of the things they've added are really great. I think that the amiibo costumes, like some of the other stuff that they cut along the way, I'm kind of sad about. And you know, the level editing is what it is, but it is still pretty awesome.
Yeah. Interested to see where it goes from here.
Yeah.
Nintendo seems a little more, I don't know, willing to support their games long term now.
Yeah,
Like they've got a kind of a better process in place for
It seems
putting
like
out
it.
DLCs and stuff. So.
Yeah, and then they have a
Wonder if
history. They have a history with the first game
Yeah.
of doing
yeah,
some,
on top
some
of that.
fun
I wonder if
shit,
they'll
so.
do any paid stuff for it.
That's and I think if they end up doing
Mario 2,
another
that would-
style or something, I would
be
assume that would be a paid
paid
add-on,
DLC.
but I don't know.
Yeah, I can see that. Cool.
Do you think we'll get the same kind of mileage out of it? Or is
We'll see.
the nuance kind of tied
We'll
up in
see.
the first
I
one?
think the streaming level creation ends up being tricky because of just how level creation is now.
Mhm.
And so it becomes like, you know, are we willing to? Well, like I said, Ben's been trying to get good at using a
Using the
controller to
controller.
create
Yeah,
levels,
maybe we'll
kind
just let
of
him-
specifically for this reason.
Yeah, maybe we'll just let him be the driver.
Yeah.
If he's pretty adept at that stuff.
Yeah. And you know, the other option is kind of pointing a camera at a screen.
At a switch, yep.
Yeah, I ain't above it. So
Done that.
We shall see.
yeah,
It's
but
got
you know,
that kickstand.
yeah, Dan's made some levels that we haven't played. We've made some levels that he hasn't played. So I think we're starting to kick now that we have the game in and everything. We're kicking around some ideas about what we want to do with it. So we'll see.
So we shall. Matt Rory,
Hi.
how's your Final Fantasy 14?
It's
Yeah.
going well. It's
Yeah.
going okay.
How long have you been playing?
You brought those shadows yet?
Man, I'm in like the third month of my. I made a character a very long time ago, and I had to go back a few months. I'm trying to get the timeline down, but I'm level 42.
Okay.
And I think the level cap is 80 now with the new expansion that just came out. So I'm
Oh.
like not super far in, but
Have you
having a good time.
finished the main game yet? Are you
No,
into
God, no.
expansions or still? Okay.
Realm Reborn is 1 to 50, I believe, and then every expansion there's Stormbringer, Shadowbringer is a new one.
Shadowbringer.
Stormbloods,
Stormblood.
the one before that.
sounds
and
right.
then Heavensward.
Yes.
And then there's a Realm Reborn. I'm still in the basic game.
Okay.
Been thinking about buying like something to speed up the advancing because it is
Boost.
pretty slow. But I'm having a good time so
Just
far.
buy a whole new account, man.
I don't.
Yeah,
want to do
level
that.
80.
Everybody in the guild, the Venco guild, that is the Giant Bomb guild, always says that even after they rebooted that game, the base level stuff is still pretty not great.
Yeah.
Like, story-wise,
Everybody,
so-
I've definitely heard people say each expansion gets significantly better.
Yeah,
than
I've
the
heard
last,
some
so
really good stuff about the story and the expansion. I'm looking forward to getting to it.
They reached out, said, "Hey, we can send you level boost items if you want
Yeah.
to just go straight to the new expansion. If you want to
Yeah,
check it out,
sure.
But I could also see the appeal from the way people talk about that stuff.
I'd make
of
a new
seeing,
character at
of
that
seeing the well, totally, but also
Um,
like seeing the progression of
Yeah, it's neat.
the design.
It's a big difference. WoW did the classic thing where they had a big patch, and it came out the week of the new expansion for Final Fantasy, which I suspect
Like
they
counter
held.
programmed.
I suspect they held onto it for a little bit. The new patch, I've been people know I love WoW, but WoW has been a bad expansion. The new big patch just feels kind of pretty boring too. So I'm looking for something.
What do you
new
think
to
of the
play.
talk going around that they're going to squash the leveling?
It seems pretty.
In
seems-
WoW,
they've been
Yeah.
talking about that as a
Yeah.
possibility.
that's not unprecedented, right? Haven't other MMOs done that
Yes.
before?
I'm not sure about level squishes. They did eye level squishes and health squishes. They haven't done a level squish yet, but it would make sense.
I mean, what you're basically talking about, I forget what the exact number was, but it's basically lowering the level cap, right?
Yeah.
Kinda
Yeah, they'd go from, like,
re-leveling everything.
Yeah, they'd go from like 120 to 60. They cut it in half.
Right.
The benefit to that would be that you'd be able to get more meaningful stuff every level. Because right now you get talents every 5 levels or so. So it's like there's a bunch of leveling before you get something new. And if they rebalance like that, I really suspect that Battle for Azeroth has lost them a lot of subscribers, and they're probably in kind of panic. I wouldn't know for sure, but the rumors are that they've lost a lot of subs, and obviously
They're in free fall, man.
the community has been really and justifiably kind of upset with Battle for Azeroth because it's the worst expansion I've played for sure. Just boring and not. I've only leveled one character and I just don't play very much. But Final Fantasy, everybody's talking about Final Fantasy lately.
Can you tell? So I haven't really seen much of Final Fantasy. Does it?
Sure.
Does it play a lot like WoW?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
I
my
mean,
memory
yeah.
of it for sure.
It's a WoW. It's a slower paced
Okay.
gameplay. Like the global cooldown is 2.5 seconds versus 1.5 in WoW. So you're a lot more deliberate in terms of your actions. And the big problem is starting off that game, you have very few buttons. You get like 2 attacks.
Yeah.
I was starting as a paladin, which is a tank class. So it's not really focused on. It's my own fault for doing it that way, but it's just a very, very slow game to start off. Like you take a long time to get your chocobo, and even that, then your mount speed's very slow. So moving around the world, you can luckily teleport to anywhere you've been before for a little gold fee. So it's pretty easy to get around the world once you explore. But
All right, now here's the real question:
Sure.
How much can I sell my code for a black chocobo that I got from Amazon?
no idea.
Okay.
Sorry.
They were giving those things away like candy.
Damn it.
I don't think they're worth.
The one thing I haven't explored yet is mods. I really want to get some because I play mouse keyboard. A lot of people in the guild play with controllers, which is foreign to me as an MMO. But I know a lot of people say the game is meant to be played that way. I need a lot of buttons to press, and I like to have my keyboard and my mouse and everything like that. But
Good at
so
pressing
far,
buttons.
it's really good in terms of tanking because it's a little more challenging to keep aggro on you in dungeons, and you're always. It's like any other MMO where you have the same kind of problem with DPS want to pull and all that kind of bullshit as a thing. But the big change for me is that you can't get into dungeons you haven't done the story quest for. So you see all these dungeons on the map you can't go into. I'm not sure if that changes after you hit level 50 because I'm sure there'll be some that I want to just go to the next expansion and not unlock. But yeah, it's really good. It looks really nice. The graphical stuff in combat, after you get a few more abilities, everything that kind of pops and has a lot more color to it than WoW does. So yeah, my friendship ended with WoW. Friendship began with Final Fantasy.
Do you go in for any of the fan service or nostalgia in that game at all?
I've
'Cause
been
that to me that sounds like the only, or not the only, but the main reason to play that game.
Well, I've been replaying Final Fantasy 12 as well with a couple of our moderators. We're doing like a replay of that since it come out of everything else, and it's the same world. But I've been reading the quest log stuff, and I've been reading all the quest dialogue because everybody says you should. But so far, it's pretty standard kind of fantasy tropes.
Sure.
You know,
Well,
right?
I mean, every expansion, some people I know come at me like, dude, you can fight the Phantom Train in this one.
Yeah,
Or, hey,
I know.
You can get Magitech armor as your mount now. And
Yep.
it's like, oh,
I had a
maybe
friend who was
should
way
check
into
that out.
way into
good.
11, and the story he always told me is that you fight Odin at one point, and you have to slash Neil to avoid the chop through everybody.
Wow.
Otherwise, you'll die
It's
immediately.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I fought Ifrit. I fought Thunder Dude, Zora, Zamfu.
Zora.
Who's the Thunder guy?
Zora. Zorah.
Zora. Yeah. So you get a lot of the stuff that you've seen in other Final Fantasies. I'm not deep into the meat of the story yet. Everybody says that you got to get the expansions before the story.
Yeah, people say those expansions ratchet up the quality
Yeah,
dramatically
I hear-
one after the other.
tear jerking
cool.
cutscenes, just
Yeah.
things, people dying that you don't
Jan's
expect
shaking
to
his
die.
head down there.
I've been tiptoeing around getting into Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah,
Hey, man.
and I'm liking everything I'm hearing so far.
It's pretty good. It's a big learning curve to get into it, but
Hearing that you have to trudge through the entire base game though. Is,
I think if I had to do it again, I'd probably buy some kind of expansion or boost or something like that.
Do they
'Cause
offer
Have you
those?
played WoW or anything like that?
I like dipped my toes into WoW, but it was a lot going on. But
Yeah.
hearing that I could play this with a controller
Yeah.
is pretty.
It's definitely meant
intriguing.
to be that way. Like
Okay.
in order to, it almost feels kind of counterintuitive as for a lot of things as a mouse and keyboard player.
I see.
Because when you unlock new abilities, you have to go to your character screen and like drag them to your hotbar manually. Or if you go to a quest giver or a person you have to give an item to, you have to like drag the item to the thing, then hit give. So as opposed to something like WoW, where that's just done automatically for you. It's not super intuitive in a lot of ways. There are a lot of little things that I've been discovering, like your Chocobo has its own skill tree. Because your Chocobo you ride, he also has a battle pet. And you can like upgrade their skills as like attacker, defender, healer, whatever. I didn't figure that out until it was like level 40. So I could have had like my Chocobo be an attacker the entire time, but it just was never super well explained or like buried between a dozen menus.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of menus to go through.
Because I also have a code for a fat black chocobo.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's
And
not
I
a
feel
good
like-
I saw one the other day, and
I
it was
got you.
It's a big. The fat chocobos are pretty cute.
I wonder if I'll get a second one because I had to buy a replacement controller.
Oh, you're
I got
right.
it. I got it from that broken controller I bought. So maybe.
I like it a lot. I'm really looking forward to spending more time. Hopefully, it's slow leveling for sure, like compared to WoW. But then WoW did they did a not a level squish recently. They did before this expansion came out. They did scaling. So zones are now not like 25 to 35. They're 20 to 60. You can level anywhere you want to.
Yeah.
But that made the entire leveling process so much slower than it used to be. I mean, it used to be way too rapid for like a new player. Like you'd be leveling up constantly. But
I
now
think they wanted to get you into the expansions
Sure.
and get you
And
to mine that stuff.
they might have wanted to sell you some
Sure.
XP boosters.
Sure, yeah.
WoW's been really good about not forcing any all the stuff they do is usually cosmetic, like they sell mounts and stuff like that, which is fine. I've avoided the store entirely. I haven't felt compelled to buy anything in the Final Fantasy store either, cosmetic stuff. I usually avoid that in any game. But yeah, it's really interesting to see those two games have their kind of. I mean, everybody in the MMO space, everybody's talking about Final Fantasy. Nobody's really talking about WoW.
Certainly seems that way.
Battle for Azeroth has been a huge misstep, in my opinion, and most of the people I know. It seems like it's really killed off a lot of interest in that game, and
But
It
sparked
had to have
interest in a lot of
sometime.
others.
it did, and it's
And maybe they can get it back, but like, you know.
WoW has this big community or urban legend maybe that there's A, B, and a B team who switch off between expansions. I doubt that's entirely true. I'm sure like top level design, you have people going back and forth, but like the thing about Battle for Azeroth, I don't care about Horde versus Alliance anymore. Like it's not a compelling thing to me. I want to see these big extraterrestrial old god threats and just having like Jaina or Sylvanas be the big bad guys.
I mean,
I
they've
don't give a fuck.
kind of run out of base material, right?
They
Like,
really-
they've basically covered everything that has ever been done in the previous Warcraft games. at this
Legion
point.
was great because it started you off and it killed like Ysera and it killed the King Rin. It killed a bunch of people as you play the game. You don't have to go to the raids for this stuff. You're requesting along and they go, oh shit, characters who have been here since like Warcraft 3 are dying off.
Right.
It really felt they were kind of cleaning
Right,
house a
yeah.
little bit and like
Yeah.
trying to find. But then
But then they reset the.
they set the boring characters.
Wiped the slate clean and just kind of went back to basics again.
Anduin's not very exciting.
Yeah.
Sylvanas, everybody, they're doing the Hideo Kojima thing. Like, you'll know when it comes out that Sylvanas is not as evil as she has got reasons, and she's just like killing towns and sounds like bad. They're bringing Thrall back because he left the Horde a long time ago, and it seems like they had a really good cinematic. The one thing about Battle for Azeroth, the cinematics have been fucking top notch, like super well done. But storyline stuff just feels like they're kind of treading water. Yeah. They're doing. I think the last old god is coming in with I forget the Queen Ashara. I think is the Queen of the Nagas who you're fighting now. It just feels like it's all kind of going through the motions. The big
Again,
rumor,
like it's kind of rechurning itself. Yeah.
yeah, it's always been. I mean, Horde versus Alliance. If you don't like that, I personally find it to be kind of tiresome at this point. Like you've saved the world multiple times from like literally blowing up.
Yeah.
Like, hey, maybe not
You
fight
went through
over
a damn cataclysm, right?
Yeah, maybe not fight over like ore or iron or something. It's kind of reductive in a way, and I get that that's a big driver for a lot of people who are big into the lore. But for me, I'm not partisan to either faction, so I don't really care. They're gonna have to do
that was always the thing. Like when you're watching some of those BlizzCon keynotes and stuff, and having guys go out there and go, well, "Where's my horde at?" And like it's just like, oh my god.
Well, the community is
Come
very. A lot of people in the community are very accusatory of Blizzard being Horde biased because a lot of their cutscenes are focused on Horde. And that kind of
Ford and
stuff.
Chevy, man.
Yeah, I tell
Yeah, dude,
same old
totally.
shit.
I've been playing the game 15 years and it's just like this is the one that's really bored me the most. Like every other expansion I've leveled up all my tanks. This one I had one max level character and the second highest one is like halfway there and I just don't want to log in and play.
Well, I'm glad you're playing 14 because
I am
when
too.
you get to those expansions,
We get a lot of
especially
people telling us that we should do
yeah,
something with it.
I would like to see some of that stuff
Sure.
when you get up to the new.
Although I've
yeah.
streamed MMOs before, they're boring to watch unless you're really a big fan
yeah,
of
we
the
can
games.
dip in there briefly. And
Sure.
Just
Yeah, we can do a
see-
dungeon or something like that.
See what
Cool.
it looks like.
I'm looking
Maybe
forward
I'll
to
try and join you, Rory.
it. Yeah, welcome
Yeah.
to join
Yeah.
the.
Is it cross play?
I think it is.
I believe it is. Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
I said Vinco. There's a free company on our
No.
on our forums. You can find the Discord and everything
All
like that. Very nice people.
Chad is also telling me apparently there's a Final Fantasy Tactics raid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
uh,
they're doing all kinds of
Jesus.
weird stuff.
It's really interesting. It doesn't feel fan service-y to me so far that I've played. It feels
Oh, really?
like kind of a self-contained storyline, but I mean, it references Final Fantasy all the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
And especially 12
I'm
because
in
it's set
trouble.
in that.
Yeah.
It's set in Eorza, the 12 and Tactics universe. So
Damn it.
yeah, there's a
Damn it.
Sid. I
Damn
just
it.
met Sid. I got
course
an
there
airship
is.
now. I got the Enterprise. So
You get your own airship?
it's a very small one that I've seen so far, but it was captured during the Great War, and it was held and tied to keep that was taken over by the Draconians or
Of course. Yeah.
Dragovians.
More of an airboat.
Yeah,
It's kind of like an
Mhm.
air
it's
dinghy.
neat. It's so far it's very neat. I put in an hour or two in that every night. My problem without I don't do a lot of the dungeons over and over again, so you have to be a certain level to proceed in the main story quest.
Yeah.
And sometimes I hit the next chapter in that quest, and I'm not high enough level to start the quest, even though I know I'd be fine to go through it, which is frustrating. You have to go off and kill rats for a while to get the levels that you do, or you can do level meets and just do the dungeons over and over again. But I'm kind of a one and done person when it comes to dungeons, so a little frustrations here and there. But so far, it's pretty cool. I've been thinking about doing. Honestly, I've been thinking about doing more MMO stuff. Like I want to get back into. I want to try ESO a little bit. A lot of people saying Guild Wars 2 is decent now, or it's falling apart. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is, at any given
One of
moment,
those two things.
any game is either completely falling apart or has turned it around.
The best it's ever been.
Yeah.
But hey, man, MMOs like we'll all be playing on our phones in
Oh.
2 or 3 years. So just enjoy the
Enjoy
moment
it,
while it lasts.
enjoy it while you can.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that cheery note, we're going to take a quick break, and then we will be back. I know I asked this.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, feel free.
Oh, you want to go first?
I know. I just
I
had
was
real
about to-
quick, real quick as
I
you're
was
coming
about
out.
to ask Jason a thing. But
Okay.
You do your business.
Final Fantasy 14 gets unlimited free trial starting today, Jan.
Level
Level up to 8 characters up to level 35 with no playtime restrictions.
Wait a minute. How is that
No
unlimited?
playtime.
Well,
That
it's
sounds like
it's
a
free
limit to
trial.
me.
Where's the catch?
Hey, dude, 35 is a little bit under where I played for like 3 months. So you're gonna get some time out of that. I'm taking my time. I'm not like grinding anything out. So, any class, the new expansion.
You have no excuse.
You're making
now.
it so easy.
No,
No
8
excuse.
characters up to level 35.
There's never been a better time.
They were listening, weren't they?
They
They're like,
might
you
have
know,
been.
let's
I
flip the
literally-
switch.
They did this
I-
just for you.
Yeah, I literally saw that as I was picking up my phone to go to the bathroom. So.
Wow.
Okay.
Uh,
Thought we were going to talk about soccer or something.
yeah, no, all that too. Hey,
You can watch soccer and play Final Fantasy at the same time.
Finally.
it's a pretty good MMO for like. I mean, every MMO I play, I basically do other shit on the second monitor. But
You know what? Just live your life. That's fine.
I know. Hey,
I was gonna say I cannot get behind a situation where I need 2 things at once to entertain me. But
yeah.
That's my life, man.
nah.
Two is minimum.
Okay, that's fair.
3.
Speaking of,
Yes.
I know I ask this every time CEO happens.
Mm-hmm.
What does CEO stand for again?
Community Effort
Effort,
Orlando.
Okay.
And it's held in Daytona.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This is, I think, the second time they've been in Daytona, and they've been cleaning up the city. I guess last year there was a bunch of like just hoodlums about and it made
Fighting
for-
hooligans.
I guess so. I don't know. Like I don't think that they were part of the tournament scene or fighting game community. I think they were just
Aha.
regular
I see.
city hoodlums.
Yeah, I
hoodlums,
remember hearing
whatever.
coming out of last year, people going like, I don't know if I'll go again if it's in
Yeah.
Daytona.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But I guess like Jabali had a bunch of meetings with like the city superiors and
Wow.
got shit changed.
Working,
I guess
working the local government.
Yeah, totally.
How does CEO compare to Evo, like size wise?
So it's about 10,000,
Okay.
I think, for CEO. That's a very sizable
That
number.
sounds like a respectable number.
Yeah, and in terms of like glitz and glamour, it's I think it's very close to that. They've got their big wrestling ring. They usually have like a wrestling event that they've kind of settled onto.
Yeah, I
as
guess this is
well.
now the second year they've done
Yep.
that.
Like literal physical wrestling.
Yeah.
No game involved.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
pro wrestling kind.
Huh.
So they had like
Jabali fucking wrestled,
yes, of course,
All
he
right.
which was
wrestled last time too.
pretty. Well, yeah, but
kind of.
he was hurt and couldn't really do it last year,
Right.
right? So
I think he messed up his leg
Yeah,
practicing.
he had a match.
Oh, jeez.
They
He is the biggest mark for himself.
yeah,
Absolutely.
but he dumped out a bag of fucking Sanwa buttons and fucking threw Michael Knights out onto it.
Was he godlike?
It was fun.
Oh.
It was fun.
Big, yeah, just goofy.
That whole show was a
Fun
little
show.
all over the place. So that was like also like AEW's like what second official.
second or
Second.
third?
Well, I guess
Okay.
All In was not officially them. So
Yeah.
yeah, their second
Right.
actual show. on top of that. So it was like exciting from a wrestling perspective as well.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of hit and miss.
Here's my litmus test. Did CEO get an MK11 stage?
What do you mean?
Yes.
Like
Oh,
tournament
of course.
stage?
Yeah, of
Yes.
course
They
they
did?
did.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
totally.
They rate.
It's a major for sure.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
okay.
Okay.
It's a big deal.
And this is one of the majors that actually it put Smash as the final game. So
Huh.
like not Street Fighter, not Mortal Kombat.
Mm.
They actually put Smash because they had the most participants, I think. So
Yeah.
they just kind of went with that. But I get to watch Mortal Kombat. I watched Samurai Showdown tournament, which is really good as well. Yeah, fun times. But
Cool.
I'm still playing a little bit of Samurai Showdown and MK11 when I get the chance, and then Iceborne as well. So the second leg of that beta kicked off this weekend, and they added a surprise monster. Like if you go into the first stage and like 1 out of 40 tries or something like that, one of the monsters is replaced with Nargacuga, which is a fan favorite. You're shaking your head. Nargacuga.
Nagakuga.
Smile and nod.
Definitely one of my favorites.
Did you use
I'm
your clutch
excited
claw?
yes, I use the clutch claw in clutch situations. Only.
You still doing Dauntless?
No, not so much.
Yeah?
No, yeah. With these 2 betas for Iceborne, and just getting back from E3, like I just haven't.
It's counter programming, man.
Yeah.
They know what
Yeah.
companies know what they're doing.
They know what's up. They know how to get into my heart. Give me a Nargacuga, and I'm all in that shit. No, it's fun. I can't wait for September. Game Informer announced that as their cover as well.
Mm.
Is it
That's
an
pretty
expansion
exciting.
or is it a whole
Yeah,
new
it's,
game?
it's like
It's
a
an
big,
expansion,
big
yeah.
paid. They say how much it is? It's like
I want to say
30
40.
or $40. Yeah,
Yeah,
it sounds
but-
like a big chunk.
Yeah,
I would
they'll
hope.
have all
that
in
price.
packages for like $60
Oh,
or
sure,
whatever. So
sure. Yeah, I'm curious to see how many people come back to that game.
I know I'm in.
Yeah.
Is the,
Definitely.
did
even
this-
with the load times?
Did the Steam version get parity in terms
No.
of release stuff, or is it still?
Afraid
behind?
not, sir.
And the expansion's not hitting the
Wow.
end date either. So.
Right.
That's crazy.
Huh.
Yeah, this was their opportunity to do it, and they
Yeah.
just don't want to.
Hmm.
I don't understand.
I think they issued a statement saying they're working on trying to get it closer at least. But,
Well,
but
yeah, still.
Yeah.
I waited, I don't know how long for the PC version, and now it's like,
It was
I
6
don't
months or
want-
so. It was a long time.
and now I
Yeah.
feel bad for like waiting that long.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm glad.
it's a bummer.
it's a better version of the game too. So then
Yeah.
to have to
Between the high, textured pack and the load times.
Yeah.
It's a real shame.
All right. I think that might do it for games this
Yeah.
week. Everyone going to hold their peace?
sure.
All right, let's talk about
Good.
the news.
What you got?
Some stuff.
Okay. Wow.
A few stories.
Okay.
Several things.
Well, all right. If you say so.
Prove it. Okay. Here's a headline
Show and prove.
from Vice.com
Oh.
that says Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony say Trump's tariffs will make consoles cost more.
That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Explain a tariff to me.
It's
Like I know,
it's
but
like a duty.
yeah, that we pay.
It's like a surcharge
that we have to pay.
on imports and exports.
How does?
I don't think it's an item thing. This is more like raw materials, or is it like
No,
the
no,
actual-
this is for straight import export stuff.
Yeah.
I guess this letter. So basically, Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony penned a joint letter. It's kind of crazy. You scroll down to the bottom of this PDF that I downloaded, and just there are the signatures of the 3 general counsels of those companies.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's like kind of a
All
wild
agreeing on a thing.
It's a wild image, just like literally.
Oh, man,
like
yeah.
the letterhead just has the logos of all 3 of those companies at the top of it, jointly signing this letter to what is it? The Office of the U.S. Trade Representative, basically saying like, "Hey, these tariffs on things in and out of China are going to make our consoles cost way more, and that sucks ass." They quoted a figure of $840 million more
Mm-hmm.
that will be spent by consumers if these tariffs go into effect. They didn't really break that down too much further. I'm not sure what period of time that's
Man,
over.
they sure got China, didn't they?
But there's flat out language in there about like, hey, if these tariffs go into effect, it will put game consoles out of reach of a lot of families
Yeah.
who would have liked to buy them for the holidays and stuff like that.
Right.
So like,
We're talking about current gen stuff, not just like
yeah, like
wait.
that, like
Huh.
because originally I think the tariffs were scheduled to have gone into effect by now.
Right,
Like, it was
yeah.
like late June, I think. So that would have affected current consoles on sale through the holidays.
So buy a bunch now.
Uh,
Wait for them to be marked up.
Flip them.
Flip 'em.
yeah. I guess this letter actually went out on the 17th of June. That's what it's dated as. But I guess maybe news sites just noticed it last week because everybody ran the same
Or
story.
maybe,
on the same
maybe
day.
it just became made
Or maybe it was
publicly
only
available or something
publicly
like that. Yeah, I don't
released
know what the actual situation
last week.
was.
Controversial opinion. I don't want to spend more for consoles.
Huh.
What?
Don't jump on me like that.
Whoa.
How do we get back at China
Man,
unless
I
we
don't know.
pay more money
Yeah, that
for our
makes,
stuff?
that makes a lot of sense.
I'll be curious to see what the actual are we talking like 25% more, or is
I
it?
think that's what
That was 25%.
It was literally 25%.
Wow, holy shit!
So that's like $75 on a Switch, right?
Sure. Yeah. You want to be all mathly about
Or
it.
something like that.
The weird, not ironic thing, but coincidental
Arithmetize
thing.
this stuff.
Like I might be on the verge of having to build a new PC, so it's like not good timing, but like, man, it'd suck if I needed a new console as well. But
Totally.
my PS4 original still keeping
Still
along,
cranking
so-
along. I mean, there's a bunch of talk in this letter about like their supply chain and partnerships with suppliers and the fact that, you know, if
The
they
tariffs
were to-
apply to everything that we're importing, right? It's not just consoles. It's like-
It's specific types
think
of
it's
goods.
still
It's
certain
specific
types of goods,
categories. Yeah. It wasn't. It's not just straight up China everything. It's like these specific items.
do we know if PC hardware is in there?
I think it is.
processors?
I want to say.
I think it was.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Anyway,
I
like
know.
the-
I know Nike and I believe Nike and maybe also Adidas. I think they might have sent something similar that was just like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Hey, dipshit!"
But they basically say like, hey, we've built these supplier relationships and manufacturing processes up over many years.
Yeah.
It would cost more to relocate these back into the United States, or it would add even
Right.
more
Yeah,
to the
it
purchase
would-
price
yeah,
than these
that's
tariffs will. There's not a great way around this. Anyway, it's kind of all changed in the last like 36 hours or so when it came out of the G20 that they have now suspended these tariffs.
Good.
Yeah.
And are going to go back to the negotiating table again. So maybe it won't actually happen after all. But right up until like yesterday.
Wonder how that affects like
Classic.
It was looking pretty dicey for the cost of video game consoles.
Classic. Hey, we're doing this thing. Oh, we're not. Oh, what
Yeah.
the fuck are we doing? Oh shit. What the fuck? Wait, hang on. What?
Yeah.
I wonder if
Classic shit.
Google tried to get on that. Like, do you think Google still? They're shipping a Chromecast with Stadia, right? Which might not
Yes.
count as a console.
Yeah, I don't know enough about where the tariffs are being
Yeah.
applied to know if it would apply to like a streaming gear, like an Apple TV or something like that or not. But I don't know.
Curious. Sounds like nobody really knows.
I don't. Got me.
But yeah, the Stadia stuff, you could theoretically run it on your existing browser and all the other stuff too. So
Any
it's
Scotch
the magic of the internet.
Scotch fans in the house? I saw that
Scotch?
Scotch is now going to be included in the EU tariffs. That are
Oh,
Wait.
right. Yeah.
everybody's a
why?
big fan of
Never been a huge fan.
Scotch whiskey. You've got bad news for you.
We imported some very nice mezcal when he came back from Mexico. That's what we're drinking lately.
I was looking at a tall can that just said Natty Daddy on it. And then it also said the big one. I thought about importing one of those from the local convenience store.
Wait, was it
into
natural?
my body?
Natural
Please
light?
do.
Yeah,
Please do.
or ice. I don't know. It just said Natty Daddy, the
Natty
big
Daddy.
one. And I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's his July 4th drink if I ever
Yeah.
heard one.
Last week, Jason Schreier posted another expose on Kotaku about labor conditions, this time at Treyarch. It's becoming a woefully familiar story, I think. The big focus of this one is about the kind of dual cultures inside Treyarch between full-time employees and contractors. The latter of whom, it sounds like, are not invited to company parties, are told to park in a parking lot that's much farther away from the building.
Basically, like treated
not-
as second
Are
class.
not included in like studio surveys about like employee health.
That's the big thing to me.
Like
yeah.
obviously are not eligible for bonuses.
Right. Yeah.
With everything else I've just said, of course you would assume they're not going to get any bonuses.
And a lot of them are technically like
employees
work for
of like
Volt
contractor,
and
a contractor
other,
agency,
agency
or
people.
multiple agencies. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's the vast focus of the story. If you want to know more about it, I encourage you to read it.
Volt's been around forever.
Yeah. So I remembered seeing that name, God, probably a decade or more ago. The studio heads, rapidly after the story went up, sent an internal letter to people saying that they take all this stuff seriously and are dedicated to improving, et cetera,
Mhm.
workplace culture and stuff.
But
But
it's not new. It's not unique to Treyarch. Like that's
Yeah.
you know, yeah, in terms of just like, hey, contractors and temps don't get to go to the holiday party, all that sort of stuff. Like I feel like that's become kind of standard procedure in a lot of industries and has been for a long time. It's shitty.
Yeah, it sounds not great.
But it's shitty, and it's one of those things that I like. When this story came out, I read it, and my first reaction was like, "Well, yeah, of course." Yeah. Like they work for Volt. They're not, you know, like there's a whole separate thing. Like maybe Volt should be negotiating to get better things for their people when they're on premises, like all this stuff. And maybe Volt should be bonus eligible and distribute that, or I don't know like that. But then I realized like, oh, actually, there's no reason it needs to be this way. Like it's dumb for me to fall into that trap. And this is something that could be solved at a larger level.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah.
A lot more detail in the story about the working condition stuff. I did pull a couple of nuggets out of here, though, about Black Ops 3 and 4.
Okay. Love nuggets.
Yeah. I'll try this one on for size. The Black Ops 3 shipped with a campaign. Like, it did have a campaign.
True.
Unlike Black Ops 4, which it was announced, like, what?
A handful of months.
8 months before it came out that it would not have a campaign.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey one?
No,
that was Advanced Warfare.
Which one was Black Ops 3?
Black Ops 3 was like Cyborg.
Christopher Maloney.
Okay.
One.
I only know them by this.
Wall running? No, that was Infinite Warfare.
Yeah, it was Infinite Warfare. Black Ops 3 was the mind. It's all inside your head.
Yes.
You've got weird powers.
So basically there's information in this story about what the campaign for Black Ops 3 was going to be before it got rebooted and became something else. And then probably way more interestingly, a bunch of information about what the Black Ops 4 campaign was going to be before it got straight canceled.
Lay it on me.
So I'm just going to read some quotes here.
Black Ops 4 was the most recent one.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Treyarch's last game, Black Ops 3, was planned to feature an open world until the team rebooted midway through production, scrapping the open-ended map in favor of a traditional linear campaign. This is all part of talking about, you know, decisions being made last minute and the types of crunch that it leads to and that sort of thing.
Yeah, if you look at Black Ops 2 and the stuff they did with the campaign,
there, they were trying some stuff.
Tried some branching stuff and tried to do some things.
Decision making and like
3 was, you know, at some point seemingly going to expand on that.
Wasn't there stuff in? I never played 2, but I feel like I remember there's an example of like, oh, you have to like
if you shoot this guy,
you have to take this guy out, but if he gets away and if you
exactly.
miss and don't get him, then the story changes because he lived and that kind of thing. Like that, those are interesting ideas.
It was cool shit.
Yeah, so not a ton of info about what Black Ops 3 was going to be other than open world, which could be a lot of things, but that's interesting to hear.
Right.
Anyway, so about Black Ops 4, like there's some actual meat to this. The plan had been to do something very different from previous Call of Duty campaigns. Black Ops 4 was set after Black Ops 3's story, but rather than play through the campaign yourself, you'd play alongside a partner battling against a pair of human opponents. If you wanted to play single player, they'd all be AI-driven bots.
Oh, man.
Each side would pick a faction, and
Quake 3 all over again.
Each side would pick a faction, and you'd compete to gun down enemies and battle over different objectives in a post-apocalyptic world.
We're talking about a campaign still?
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
One side might try to destroy a convoy, for example, while the other side works to protect it.
That's what Titanfall did.
Or maybe one faction would set off to protect a journalist while the other faction tried to assassinate them. Each mission would give you chances to get into shootouts with the other team, hampering their progress if you did well. During different moments throughout the story, you'd also get the chance to defect and switch sides if you weren't happy with the choices your faction was making.
I can see why they canceled that. That sounds really complicated.
And then they go on to say, like, oh, you know, they crunched on internal demos of this and got them done, and then it all ended up getting canceled anyway. Yada yada yada. But
yeah,
those are the details that came out of this on what that game was going to be.
Sounds really ambitious.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised at
that. And you know, there's talking here. It actually sounds a lot like some of the stuff that came out of the Anthem development about like, oh, they had a hard time figuring out how to make it fun.
Sure,
like they had these ambitious ideas that they were trying to implement, but they couldn't quite bring it together in a way that worked.
When was the last time a co-op game with an AI teammate? Because I don't play co-op campaigns or really ever co-op stuff, so I default to the AI teammate, and it's always 100% of the time been terrible. Dead Space 3 was the best one in terms of like,
what?
Hey, if you didn't have the AI teammate, it would just disappear, and you do it all basically on your own, and it worked out fine. Compare that to like Resident Evil 5, which was a disaster to play as single player.
It worked.
I don't know. I shit on the idea, but the idea of an AI. I don't play co-op stuff, and having an AI teammate versus an AI team seems like doesn't get me.
Yeah,
excited.
but at the same time, like I think so many people come to Call of Duty for competitive multiplayer that the idea of trying to build a story mode around that gameplay, I think makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, that sounds like a fascinating direction for that series.
Yeah, and I think it's a logical one too.
Yeah.
That and then it becomes a matter of like you're almost building like that Mortal Kombat, that MKX faction.
Yeah, that's
war
what it
thing,
sounds like, of like a persistent.
but also like real gameplay that kind of unfolds from that stuff. It's a really neat idea.
Totally.
But like Titanfall was like the Titanfall campaign was you playing multiplayer. Was
never played
you playing like multiplayer matches on these maps kind of in an order, and you just kind of went to the next one kind of regardless, and it sort of just went from there, and it worked well enough for a game that didn't have a real campaign. But if you expanded on those ideas in that way, I think that's a really logical way to go about like building a campaign for a game for people who play it for the multiplayer.
Right. Of course, this aspect of the story just brings you back to the endless Call of Duty churn, and the fact that a game has to ship, and if they can't figure this out in time, they just have to scrap it because that game's got to ship.
It's kind of the interesting thing about Modern Warfare is that this year's game feels like it's something that is a little bit more considered, and it feels like that they finally had, if not the time, then the resources to step back and actually make meaningful changes to the tech and a lot of the stuff that they want to do with that. That campaign looks, pretty linear, all things considered, from what we've seen of it. But so it doesn't sound like it's ambitious in this specific way.
Yeah, it sounds a
they're
little
trying to
more
double down on the like kind of headline rip
back
thing.
to basics. Than this kind of weird offshoot.
But it feels like that they've kind of at least been able to step back and like, hey, we need to lay some new foundation. Otherwise, in 3 years this thing's done or whatever.
Yeah.
This at least props it up, I think, for a little longer. At least gives them more runway for longer.
It's interesting because, like, Wildlands had a mandated 4-party thing controlled by AI, and the problem with that game was that it was too good. You played it a bunch of it. They were just fucking
like, they were just murderers. It was just like, okay, I'm tagging these people, hitting this button, and moving forward.
It's a squad of Terminators.
It was really fun. But then they're rolling.
You felt super powerful.
You just point and shoot and let them go. But then they're rolling that back for what's the new Ghost Recon? What's it called? Breakpoint. There's no. This is what I've heard. There's like single player, no AI, and then or you play co-op. Yeah, it's really interesting. Like maybe
survival focus.
I'm sure it's tough to make an AI teammate that feels good. Like Division 2 does the same thing, where you play. I've played 90 hours of that game solo. Never. I played like 2 missions with other people. Perfectly fine. But making an AI, and I'm coming to this. I would only ever play the campaign. I would never play multiplayer because I don't really do much COD multiplayer anymore. So I'm a very big minority. But the idea of having a forced AI teammate is not what I'd look for.
Well, it wouldn't even necessarily be forced AI. It's like you're playing with other humans. You're getting kind of matched up with other players and going in against other players. Yeah. But again, like if you're not interested in the multiplayer at all,
I'm a very
buying Call of Duty in the first place, so it's
very true.
Kinda...
I'd love to go back through some of those old campaigns, but those games never go below any kind of reasonable price on Steam. They're still like $30 for all of them. Like it's. I'd love to play some campaigns. Just
they kind of compete with each other.
Yeah,
and even you go back far enough, like the PC ports of some of those games get pretty rough.
Yeah.
But they still
Activision is working on a PC Game Pass thing. I'm 100% sure. So.
Yeah, probably.
That might be the time to sign up for a month and go through all this. So.
That's a lot of Call of Duty.
I like shooting people in video games.
Whoa.
Hey, controversial thing.
Admit that in public, man. It's kind of creepy.
I had a caveat.
Also, don't do that in public.
Kind of sticking with the Call of Duty vein for a second. Glenn Schofield, formerly of Sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Who left Sledgehammer along with the other guy was Michael
Condrey.
They both got out of there last year.
Michel Gondry?
No.
The director?
No. The other guy started that studio at 2K,
Mm-hmm.
and Schofield is now starting a new studio for PUBG Corp.
Yeah.
Which
that's neat.
It's called Striking Distance is the name of the new studio. Going to be in San Ramon.
So we won't be working on PUBG specifically.
Yeah, that's the weird thing to me is the idea of like another studio underneath the PUBG banner with a different name.
They got what, $500 million now or something to play with?
Well, I'm sure they've got an insane amount of money, but like weirdest thing about this press release is just the repeated invocations of the quote PUBG universe.
Yeah, like creating a new game,
To
telling a
create a-
story.
yes,
What is the actual
It's going to
quote?
be the Telltale version of like PUBG.
Former so and so to create a new experience in the PUBG universe.
The PUBG universe.
Yep, the PUBG-verse. Like, what is that? An original narrative experience within the PUBG universe.
It's this house.
The freedom
is a
to
story.
explore the PUBG universe has me excited about the possibilities.
What if the toilets that you hide on could talk? That's my whole pitch.
Man.
Give me $100 million.
All right,
We're going.
let's go make a PUBG.
We're going deep.
Yeah, I don't know. Weird. Sure. Why not?
He makes a lot of shooty games. I'm guessing
Yeah,
this is going to
yeah.
be kind of shooty.
I mean, is anybody looking for
I think there's still,
single-player game?
There's probably an alternative, room for an alternative to
In that engine?
the other campaign engine.
Of course.
I mean, if they're using that tech, woof, I would
Yeah.
probably not do that. But
Of course, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe, like we were just saying, it's like the Call of Duty studios and they maybe never really have a chance to truly pursue anything ambitious.
yeah,
Maybe he came out of there with ideas for,
like boy, if I didn't have to
yeah.
save this other studio and then crank one out on my own and
Right.
do all this, like I would just do this, and this.
Maybe we could
Yeah.
make a cool game with some ambitious ideas if we
I
had the time.
had not considered that. What if they use the same engine and tech and stuff? That would actually be
such a bad
that
idea.
seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah.
It feels like they almost have to be working on PUBG 2 at some point. Just like,
They make so much money off the mobile stuff, and like
Yeah.
that game is still doing fine on its own. Like
I'm sure there might
On
Fortnite
its
sucks up
own
all the headlines in
swivel
the
legs.
U.S., but
yeah.
once you,
I'm sure even the PC game is doing some microtransaction business.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're fine. But yeah, like who knows what this is? Like we were talking about it last week, and like, what is the story of PUBG? Like some billionaire owns that item,
Right.
that island.
the story becomes like it's
springs death row inmates and makes them fight for his own amusement or some shit like
exactly.
that. Like, I don't
You're
know.
telling the story of
Manhunt.
of Battle Royale.
But then
the
yes,
movie,
then
and,
that's just
or
Battle Royale.
fucking- yeah.
And this
Wasn't
whole,
Manhunt
this whole
something like
snake
that
just
too?
starts eating its tail at that
Yeah.
point.
Manhunt had the same kind of like hidden camera thing.
Totally.
Well, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, yeah. Like The Condemned. They're getting Stone Cold Steve Austin. They're telling you they're doing a video game only sequel to The Condemned.
Straight to
Okay.
Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Bautista's in this one because he's in every other movie.
Why not? No,
All
he
right.
only makes good movies. I don't know if you saw
Stuber was pretty good actually.
his fucking shooting his mouth off about not wanting to be in the Fast and the Furious movies because he only makes good movies.
A wise man.
It's like, damn, Dave, go fuck yourself.
Damn, Dave. Maybe he's talking about the offshoot only.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe he's like, hey.
Yeah.
I think there was a rumor that he was going to be in the one with Cena, like the next mainline Fast and
9?
Furious. Yeah,
Okay.
and he was like, nope.
Hmm.
Could have been. What could have been?
Man, segues all over the place from one type of battle royale to another. There is a game called Tetris Royale coming to phones.
Of course there is.
Hmm.
This is the Switch one? Or is
From
this
no, it's
different than the
not.
Switch
That's
one?
what's kind of weird about this.
Okay.
It's from the Tetris company, obviously, and the actual developer is called Network with a 3,
Yeah.
who I had never heard of before.
Is that Neil Young's company? No,
Oh.
who's that? Is that
Weird.
not Neil Young, the musician?
No, I know.
The- yeah.
No, I actually mean weird. Like
Yeah.
I haven't heard the EA guy, right?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that name in ages. Like
Is that who that is? I anyway.
I went to their website
I
and
might
it's
be
a
wrong.
the website is a lot of very vague, like who we are.
Yeah.
We scale great apps into huge businesses.
Hey, that's a product.
Love a huge business.
That is a
Media
business
and
motto.
messaging network for mobile games.
Fuck yeah. I'm
Yep.
getting excited.
apps.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
Sorry, I get a little excited about applications.
yes, no, this is not Tetris 99. This is a different 100-player version of Tetris.
Oh, 100 players. That is different.
Yes, this is, yes, it is certainly one
Yeah.
more player.
Well, the fuck Tetris 99. What's that
Wow.
trash?
Mobile only?
100, yeah, it's iOS and Android.
Hmm.
It's real hard to mess up Tetris, but it's
Yeah.
been done before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when touchscreens get involved, I find it somewhat
boy.
easier to ruin it.
100-player battles, massive daily competitions of thousands of players.
Yeah.
All hosted by Scott Rogowski. Come on,
Yes.
like close the loop on this.
Sure. And also, they are calling this a multi-year partnership
No.
to develop new Tetris games.
Hmm.
So,
Right.
Plural.
Not the
Okay.
only one.
When are they going to put Tetris Effect on Switch?
Tetris Effect
Yeah.
on Switch.
I've been playing.
no.
They're probably not.
I started that game. That
Oh.
game's difficult. It's hard. I played on normal. It gets speed 9. Like I'm really.
Yeah, it can
Yeah.
certainly push your
It
Tetris
has its. It
ability.
has its.
I switched to beginner. It's like speed 7. It's still way too fast. I want to think. That game is so. My lady friend started it. Got a little frustrated. I started it too. And when she's watching me play, if somebody's watching you play Tetris at a high speed, the flusterness of it
Oh, yeah.
gets intense very quickly. I fucked up. Oh, I fucked up more. That's what so I want on my Switch, so she can't watch.
Nice.
Anybody hearing this? I don't know where I'm looking, but make it happen.
They do have a chill out mode that you can just.
Is this like go through the campaign, or is it because like the story mode only has the 3
No,
levels?
I don't think it's through the campaign. You still have to do
I
that.
think you
there
choose
are,
which
but-
levels you have unlocked, so
Yeah.
you might have to.
I'm 40, man. I'm 40 now,
Mhm.
as I determined last year. I'm actually not 40 yet, but I can't. It's hard. It's hard. It's my complaint.
I don't think there's a date on this yet.
Usually, mobile announcements are pretty soon before it comes out, right? They're not like it's not like coming this fall.
Not all the time. You know,
Yeah.
it's like they've been sitting on Gears Pop for like a year now.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a.
Yeah.
I want my Funkos. Funko Tetris. There we go.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, tell me more.
excuse me. Speaking of screwing up puzzle games on phones, they just put out some footage of that new Dr. Mario game today. Did you guys see that?
No,
No.
I'm not.
The viruses fall up
That's not how viruses work.
from the bottom of the screen to the top.
What?
I think they were always pitching this as like it was not just Dr. Mario.
Yeah.
It was a like Dr. Mario universe.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
extended universe.
Extended.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of that.
Not actual license.
Does it have fever or chill?
I should hope so.
All right.
It's got talking viruses
got
also.
both.
I don't know if we covered that.
Should viruses
Apparently the viruses talk.
I don't want to kill them
Which
then.
Mhm.
don't
As
let
soon as they
them.
put a name on them.
Don't let them sweet talk you.
Yeah.
Can't let them get away with that. So I've got this quote that came out of the 79th annual general meeting of shareholders of Nintendo.
Ah.
Always a good time there.
The translation came from JapaneseNintendo.com. Unfortunately, they only attribute the quote to Nintendo. They don't actually say, I don't know if it was the president or who
Mr. Nintendo.
at the shareholder.
Mhm.
Anyway, the long story short, they basically acknowledge that they are looking at ways to get other types of classic games besides Famicom/NES games onto the Switch.
They should do that.
Yeah.
It's a good
Yeah.
idea.
We cannot, this translation is slightly rough, but we cannot tell new information about future classic hardware among others, but we are thinking about providing an extension of the online service which is currently providing Famicom software, as well as other methods of providing them. We also recognize that there are opinions wanting to play past titles. So,
Even I'm getting sick of baseball.
Yeah.
Let's get something else in there.
I think
They just put City Connection on there. What more do you want?
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time they have acknowledged this stuff, right? Like, because people data mined references to
Right,
Super
sure.
Mario Kart and some Super Nintendo stuff out of that
Yes, they did. Yeah.
NES Online thing. And I think there were leaks. Yeah, there were leaks like ages ago about potentially another tier of the online service rolling out that might give you
Right,
access to
which-
newer games.
That'd be
So that's kind of what this sounds like. Providing an extension of the online service is how this is phrased.
if they want people to play more to get Super Nintendo games on there, I think that's really gross.
It would depend on how much more. If it was like, say, an extra $5 a year or something, $10 a year, maybe.
I think if they tier it out and the difference in tiers is, do you want to play SNES games? I think that's gross.
Yeah,
I think that's
kind of with you.
nasty.
Actually,
Considering,
thinking about what that subscription actually gets you at this point,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
like
they did a bundle deal with Mario Maker
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
you could get like a year of it
basically like
for
10
$10 instead of
$10 off.
20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the cloud stuff is nice to have. It's like nice peace of mind if your Switch disappears.
Yeah.
But other than that, unless you're playing a bunch of Splatoon, or I guess you need it for Mario Maker,
Mm-hmm.
but
You do.
there's not much
That's kind of the
on
other
offer in that service.
maybe downside of Mario Maker 2
Mhm.
is that there are some features to it that require the
Oh, really?
online stuff.
So
I don't know. It's now that I'm a subscriber, I don't actually know what they are. If it's like level uploading or what the
Oh, sure.
specific restriction is, but there is. I think it is something around sharing levels.
But I think that is the first time they have themselves addressed that stuff.
They should do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they want to have a tiered service, and then which they would never do it, but like, you know, if you imagine a Game Pass like service from Nintendo,
Yeah.
it was just like, hey, play the first party games for this higher tier of service. Like, sure, why not? Why wouldn't you do that?
Remedy got back the rights to Alan Wake.
Cool.
Yeah, good for them.
From the Energizer people
Guess so.
who had it, the battery folks.
Right. Was it Energizer?
I think it was
Or was
Energizer.
it Duracell?
It might have been Duracell. I don't.
There was
remember.
definitely a
Yeah.
battery brand
Yeah.
represented in Alan Wake.
Was this just a defaulting back to the original people, or was this something they had to go out and do?
That doesn't really say.
I can't imagine.
Remedy put out a press release
Okay.
about it.
So they are
They also received a
shooting their own head.
They received a one-time €2.5 million royalty payment along with the rights. So who knows what that arrangement was?
Hmm.
But yeah, they fully control Alan Wake now, the property,
I
for whatever that's worth. I mean,
Yeah.
they're still, they're working on Control right now. Like,
That's
who knows?
just about out.
can't
yeah,
imagine.
like,
they'll-
oh yeah, it comes out in August. So who knows what?
Is Alan Wake a valuable property?
I don't know.
In terms of like making a third one, or
They're making a movie. I don't
They've
know
been
if-
talking about that
Yes,
for a long time.
you're right.
now.
Hmm.
You're totally right. That is happening.
I mean, they could, those games got pulled at some point from download services, didn't they?
I think they're back.
okay.
Alan Wake
Mhm.
AR game
All
where the
right.
flashlight, you don't play at night, and the flashlight shows on your screen what you're supposed to hit.
There's a
and you
lot
turn
of-
it off.
This is
a
going
lot
to drain
of
my battery.
weird product placement in that game.
Yeah.
There was whichever battery
Oh,
brand it
yeah.
was. There was Verizon.
Oh,
I feel like there might have been something else even.
it was
That
like
game-
the tail end of that era. That,
Yeah.
there was just a ton of that shit all over.
That seemed kind of attenuate. From what I heard, that game was like the first one didn't do super great, and the second one was kind of a.
Well,
was
the
it
second one
Amer-
was an XBLA game. It was like a $10 or
Yeah.
$15.
The American
2
Nightmare or
Yeah, it
something?
was like 2
Yeah.
hours long or something.
Um,
Gameplay got a little repetitive, but I really liked the vibe. It had a real good, just kind of creepy Stephen King sort of feel to it
it was interesting.
that I enjoyed.
I don't think I'd want to. I wouldn't jump out of my seat for another one.
Yeah, I was not a huge fan, but I
no, but a lot of people
I
did.
get why people
Yeah.
did. Like they should
It was different. It was
Yeah.
very different. So
exploit that IP and put those games out onto
Yeah,
current
they should
consoles
do
and
some
do
stuff.
some other stuff
Do some
and
stuff with
see how much interest is there
Yeah.
for another one.
Also, as much as like lighting was a mechanic in that game, like
Mhm.
if they
Could look real good.
you can do
now.
it.
well, not just look real good, but like with ray tracing starting to happen, like
Yeah, I
maybe a
mean,
few years from now, they could
you
come
know,
up with some interesting mechanics around
They are
that.
working on a game right now with ray tracing in it, so
Yep.
they've got some experience.
They've they announced today. I think they just put out some benchmarks for the reviews for the new 2060s 27
The
Super
Supers.
cards hitting today. So
Yeah.
for the
That
market-
feels like a hugely confusing.
it's the
thing.
TI
It's
into
just
because
Super.
they didn't touch the TI.
It's just ray
Yeah, I don't
tracing
think
with
so.
cheese and sour cream and guacamole.
Well,
yeah.
They seem like pretty competitive cards for the price that they're at.
Yeah.
They're decent. The benchmarks look pretty promising. A lot of good stuff coming out PC world, like the Ryzen stuff is on the 7th, and a lot of that. So
Yeah.
if you're looking for a new time to build a PC, might
Yeah.
be time to look at.
Yeah,
it.
that
Sorry,
Ryzen
the Ryzen
stuff
stuff
looks
seems
pretty interesting.
like could be
Yeah.
cool. But like I think I was looking for like, hey, here's a new, better top of the line video card
Yeah.
or something, and it feels like they didn't touch the TI.
The 2080 Super benchmarks are still coming out. I think that's going to be a
Yeah.
$700 card, and it looks like it's going to be price performance wise probably the best thing they've done in a while. So $700 still a lot of money to spend on a video card. But
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 I
then-
had been thinking about getting a 2080 Ti at one point.
well,
I
they
mean, there
price
are
those-
rumors about a Super TI, whether
Yeah.
whether
Yeah.
that comes to pass or not. But the leak a few weeks ago.
pricing
said
on
that-
those was like the tail end of the Bitcoins are coming back now, so I don't know if that's going to affect stuff. But $1,500, the 2080 Ti was like $1,300 at launch or something
Yeah.
crazy like that.
Yeah.
So the Supers really look like a pretty decent. I don't have the benchmarks in front of me. They look like a pretty decent price performance kind
I think I just want to know, like, I want to be like, okay, give me one of these high end ray tracing cards and
Yeah.
let me see it and let me go for it and use it daily and also like
ray tracing still sounds like
I want to do some video rendering and
too big of a
some of that
cost.
shit. But
Yeah, it's just so.
yeah, like the performance hit doesn't seem like it's worth it.
Even these performance bumped cards are like just barely squeezing
Yeah.
decent frame rates out of that
It
stuff.
just seems weird. Like everything else has been so about, frame rates over 60 and
Yeah.
and heading in that direction. That
well over 60.
Yeah,
for some of
yeah.
them. Like I couldn't. If ray tracing cuts my frame rate in half, and
It's I mean, it's
Does not
just
seem
an incredibly compute heavy technology. It's going to be a while before that stuff runs super great.
I guess everything's got to start somewhere, right? I don't know. I
I've
guess
seen-
it'd be weird to expect it to be. Like,
I feel like the right way to look at this is like I've seen people compare it to like when the original GeForce came out with hardware transforming lighting,
Sure.
or like when programmable pixel shaders happened with
Mhm.
DirectX 8. Like that stuff was not fast when it came out. So,
Right.
like it worked, but it did not work quickly. You know
I
what I
almost
mean?
wonder
Like
if it'll set the stage for like actually maybe the consoles will jump out ahead the way they used to
maybe
back in the day.
Yeah, it's hard to say what's going to be in those. But point being, like this is a big new tech. It's not just like
Yeah.
iterative. You know, it's
Right.
like it's going to be a while before. Like they did it, now they have to get it working fast.
And they have to get developers on board
Yeah,
and
like
all that
it's,
shit.
It's very like early days for this new stuff.
Yeah.
Sega announced ActRaiser 3 last
They
week,
did not stop saying that.
but it's the
They
fastest way to say what it is.
They announced a game that looks a little bit like ActRaiser 1
Yeah,
because ActRaiser 2 wasn't even ActRaiser
more than a
2.
little.
They're making a
More than
game
a
that is
little.
very evocative of the classic ActRaiser.
Yeah, Sega actually Ace Team is the developer, the
Yeah.
makers of Xenoclash and Rock of
Does that mean
Ages.
it's going to be fucking creepy?
Yeah.
maybe.
Does that mean it's
We
going to be
can
a
say.
creepy ActRaiser?
I mean, look at the stuff they put
I
out.
don't want creepy ActRaiser. Those guys are sickos.
Like the media they put out. I mean, it's side-scrolling action and overhead strategy with a little like angel flying around,
Yeah.
building up a tribal society.
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
And your character in the side-scrolling stuff looks like a Greek god.
Okay.
Like it's
Yeah.
And Yuzo Koshiro did the main theme.
Okay.
You know what they're making.
Yeah. That's cool. Someone
yeah.
should make a new ActRaiser.
Yeah, yeah.
And
That's
it ain't going to be Square Enix.
probably not. Actually, who?
Didn't Enix publish that?
Yeah, you're right. Who did the actual? Was it just internal? First game?
Started with an A, didn't it? Art of
Developed by Quintet,
Okay, that was not an A. It's a Q.
which I barely know anything about. They made
Probably 4
ActRaiser,
of them.
Soul Blazer,
Mm-hmm.
Illusion of Gaia,
Okay.
Terra Enigma,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
Quintet's
Grand
5,
Grand Stream Saga.
Oh
Mhm.
wow.
They did development support on Shenmue.
Oh.
That's where things went.
Yeah.
They may not have made a game in a while. I
Yeah.
think Quintet may have gone away as of the PlayStation 2. From
Seems
the
like
looks of things. Anyway,
Hmm.
yeah, weird. But much like Crystal Crisis, sort of unashamedly aping
Sure.
Puzzle Fighter. Like I'm
Yeah.
kind of into this thing of just like people getting sick of waiting for classic games to come back and just saying screw it, we'll
Yeah.
make one ourselves. And that's kind
And
of
the art looks good. Whenever Ace Team comes up, I just think about all their creepy characters
Xenoclash
from
is so
Xenoclash
good.
and how it was just so
Yes, Xenoclash is
they had
fairly unsettling,
little off-putting,
an unsettling look to it.
Yeah.
And
but in a really
good on them. Like
and-
it's
yeah.
stuck with me.
yeah.
Just
Also really good.
to where now, like everything that developer makes, I go, ugh.
Rock of Ages is like
No, I know
just
Rock of Ages
quirk-
is not that,
quirky
but I
and
still,
cool.
when they come up, I just go, ugh, God.
I think didn't they do something else besides those two franchises? I feel
not
like
sure.
they're from Chile.
Chile.
Oh, Abyss Odyssey.
Okay,
and
right,
and
yeah.
Deadly
yeah.
Tower of Monsters. That's right. They have done a couple of other games.
Okay.
Xenoclash has really good first person melee combat also.
Yeah.
It's too creepy.
Anyway,
It
that
is creepy.
that new game is called Soul Seraph. It's not called ActRaiser 3, but
Serif SERIF or SE?
APH.
Okay.
No, it's not a font.
Would be cooler if it was.
It's a divine being.
That
That's
makes
out
fonts.
next week also.
Yeah.
Also super into this thing of announcing games that are out in like 2 weeks.
Kind of a
I like that.
slow time, so.
Last story, the book Masters of Doom, which chronicled the early days of id Software
Yes.
when they made Doom.
Oh, got it.
Has
That makes
been,
sense.
Has been optioned for a cable series on the USA Network,
Mhm.
Oh boy.
Characters are welcome.
being brought to you by Dave and James Franco,
Cool.
Okay.
the biggest Doom fans.
James
I know.
Franco could play John Carmack.
Yeah.
He could clean up and do
Oh,
it. He could do it.
Maybe, I guess.
His little brother, Dave Franco, could probably
Yeah.
maybe take on Carmack.
All right.
They're to be fair, they're executive producing, like their production company is doing this, so
Yeah,
who knows how
sure.
involved they actually are.
Did Masters of Doom go into the Ion Storm stuff, or is that a whole separate? I remember the
can't
Ion Storm.
I
Like,
I only read it when it came out.
I think there was a long form Ion Storm. Like
think
there was,
maybe
there was a big thing.
There
that
was
ran,
a
like, that was like a Dallas
the
morning.
Dallas. I think it was a Dallas
Observer or something like that, yeah.
back like when Ion Storm
That's
existed.
what I want to see.
That was like an amazing piece of games writing
Give me
back
the
at
drama.
a time when like none of that was happening. Like they went deep into that
fantastic.
bizarre thing.
$50 million top floor.
Yeah, like they
thing.
rented out like the 2 top floors of like the Bank of whatever building.
Hey, it gets really
the
hot in here.
tallest skyscraper in Dallas. And,
Wow.
Gets really hot at my desk. Put a blanket over it. Deal with it.
let's see, the writer for this is also the guy who wrote The Disaster Artist, which James Franco was in.
Yeah, right.
About The Room.
Uh-huh.
Tommy Wiseau. So there
The
is
writer of the book or the writer of
Cool.
this series?
he's writing this series,
Okay.
but he wrote the book, The
Okay.
Disaster Artist,
Inception.
or co-wrote it, I should say.
All right.
Also, I guess he's written for Uncharted and Battlefield, so he's got some actual
wow.
games writing. His name's Tom Bissell.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, that could be interesting, I guess. I don't know.
Sure.
John Romero was out there on Twitter soliciting suggestions from people about who should play him, which I really appreciate.
I think the thing we came up with was that on UPF, with like a young Brendan Fraser with long hair.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess I could see it.
Could kind of get it, but
Too busy on Doom Patrol.
that ship has sailed.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's
It's going to be a series, not just a movie, right?
so it is a series. Well, it says USA.
Also, it's just been optioned, so
Well, no,
who knows
well,
if it
USA
even
has
happens.
ordered
Oh,
production.
okay.
Like, so
Alright, okay.
the story's on Variety. It says USA Network has ordered a pilot based on the book Masters of Doom.
Okay.
I don't know how that works. Do they receive the pilot internally and then?
Yeah, it doesn't mean that we'll ever see it.
Okay.
Yeah, they can
Yeah.
recast based on the pilot.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah,
go
yeah.
back and like fire people. Or
The interesting
do it all again.
The interesting part of this is that they're saying that this first, if the whole thing goes ahead, the first season will tell this story from Masters of Doom, but then it'll be anthologized, and every subsequent season will tell a different story from the history of games.
Ooh.
So it
So-called
would not
Masters
be-
of Doom,
It
though?
would not be. I don't.
Yeah.
They don't say.
That'd be
like,
weird.
That's you would get into a weird territory. Yeah, of like maybe they would have to stick with that name.
American gaming story.
but
Masters
like-
of Mario.
But yeah, they basically flat out say like a second season would not be about id Software. It would be about some other like drama or some other human
Nintendo,
human
Sega
story
Wars.
from the history of games.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think all that stuff already got options.
Yeah, what is
all,
that-
all
what's that one called? Console Wars?
Console Wars stuff. Seth Rogen.
That's a movie, right?
Yeah,
Not a TV
supposedly.
series.
I think so.
No, that is also a series.
Okay.
Really?
Yes, yeah, that is Seth Rogen
mean,
producing Console
if
Wars.
Halton-
Seth Rogen on one side, James Franco on the other. They're gonna fight.
Yeah, I guess.
Halt and
But they're
Catch
such
Fire
good
was really
friends.
compelling story about like PC cloning. So
Yeah,
anything can be interesting if you
Yeah.
put enough drama in it.
talked many times about how much I like Pirates of Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Like the stuff can be dramatized very well. So yeah, that sounds kind of cool.
Ooh, put Jimmy Simpson as John Carmack.
Ah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I don't know who that is.
He's William from
Westworld.
Westworld, or he's one
Always
of the
Sunny.
McBoyles.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just googled him. I could see it
Yeah.
for sure. That's a decent likeness, or could be. All right, that's it for news.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks for. Oh, you're welcome. How polite of you.
Yeah, no worries.
I forgot to open the Bombcast email account. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
What do you got?
So yeah, my PC. So I had this thing where I was rebooting for a while, just hard locking after
Yeah.
a bit, and then it started. My C drive got corrupted, like
Oh,
my
okay,
entire
yeah.
Windows
Yeah,
thing. So I
that'll
just
happen.
bought a new M2 drive. What I suspect, it was getting IO errors a bunch.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
So I thought it was. I reseated the video card. I even cleared as near as I can tell, there's some kind of electrical fault in either the motherboard or the M2 drive itself was going bad.
Yeah.
So I replaced the M2 drive. It's been about a week. It's been up. One weird kind of unexplained crash, like at OS
Yeah.
level. So now I'm thinking maybe the motherboard itself, which is like 5-6 years old, maybe I'm thinking it has like some electrical short in it,
Right.
which was causing the M2
So
to
it
get fucked
eventually
up.
fucked up the M2 drive, and there was a kind of a
And
knock-on
now I have a
effect.
new M2 drive, and it's like one reboot
Yeah.
that I can't. And so now I'm thinking if I need to go ahead and do a whole hog rebuild,
Yeah.
the Ryzen timing is going to be pretty good.
I'm eyeballing these Ryzen
Yeah.
stuff
Be
things to
grand.
see. how it goes.
There's like a $900 motherboard for this thing called
Yeah,
the Godlike.
there's one that's
Jeez.
it's over $1,000, I think.
It's Canadian dollars was
Oh,
over
is that what it
1,000,
was?
but the Godlike motherboard, like, man, it used to be motherboards were $100.
Yeah.
and you'd get good
Yeah.
features and everything like
Apparently, the actual manufacturing cost with the PCI Express 4.0
Yeah,
stuff
it's
is
like $10.
It's like I read it was like $40 per motherboard or something like that.
well,
So, like that's
that. Doesn't
actually
explain
going to.
$900.
My current motherboard really bums me out. So it's like, so I put an M2
Not
drive
enough lights on
it,
it, right?
Yeah, not enough lights. No, not enough fucking ports for cards.
Yeah, no, I have like 9 SATA.
Yeah.
I have like 9
I
drives.
have plenty
in
of
there.
rooms for drives.
Yeah,
And
just SATA ports, yeah.
Yeah, like all that stuff is not a problem. But like, so I wanted, so I only have one usable port other than the video card. For cards, because there's 2 on the board, but one gets disabled if you're using an M2 drive.
Okay, that's
So
weird.
that one's out.
How long? What
You
did
only
you
got
rebuild?
you only got so many lanes.
Yeah, out of lanes.
How old's your PC?
This is, what is this? This is
13, 14?
Yeah, it's
So
probably something
about
like
the
that.
same.
I think you're on a
my age.
6700K.
Yeah,
Me
6700K.
I am as well.
That's a very loud machine.
Yeah. Well,
We
the
talked about delitting
We
that
should. I
thing.
keep thinking about
really
delitting.
delitting
I'm
because
just,
you can
I-
send them in. Yeah. The
I would do it myself, but
So
Oh,
that's
man,
that's
that's
the
a-
thought is like, okay, let's wait for these Ryzens to come out, and
Yeah.
then delid my CPU, and if we fuck it up, I'll buy a new PC. Yay!
there's a company, Silicon Valley or something, that does it like they'll buy them ahead of time and delit them and do them all right, and then sell them at a premium, so you can just buy them straight from them. delited.
everything I've looked at about delitting makes it seem incredibly straightforward.
The
Like,
Ryzen
I don't
ones-
think it would be hard, or I don't think it'd be easy to fuck up.
The Ryzen ones are
just
apparently
arduous.
tougher. Like they're soldered, I think. Like
Yeah,
well, it's
Intel is
just
also
these
soldering
ones
now.
need to be delitted
Yeah.
specifically because they're just bad about the thermal shit.
700Ks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a really huge cooler though, so
Yeah.
it's not too terrible. But
I do too. But like, disk access, anything.
Yes,
that thing
like
spins
anything
the
I
fuck
do,
up.
my CPU fan spins all the way up.
Yeah,
Like
it's wild.
opening a
Apparently,
browser.
that's a known thing.
Yeah,
yeah,
they
With
just,
that
they just
generation
run
of
super
CPU.
hot.
Anyway, yeah, I think I'm gonna eyeball this Ryzen stuff
Yeah.
and see. It sounds like that they are good CPUs.
Yeah.
I have never owned a non-Intel CPU.
They're pretty-
in
they're-
my
they're-
life.
this one seems like they're really putting their.
They're
Yeah.
very fast. It sounds like they've made
Yeah,
a lot
single
of
threading stuff is really.
a lot of the instructions per clock gains are pretty significant.
But now, so now my
and they
worry-
have a fuck ton of cores. Like
Yeah.
the $700 chip has
Yeah.
16 cores
massive
in it.
gains.
They're
Get the
not out
CPU
till-
swole.
they're not until the 7th, and then apparently
Yeah.
they're going to go straight to like Dell and everybody for
Yeah,
system
yeah.
builders first. So it'll be a while before you can find one.
I haven't built an AMD system in like 12 years or something. The one thing I will say, not to spread like a bunch of FUD or whatever, but like the thing I remember from AMD is like, oh, the brand of memory you bought might not work great in that board, or like, oh,
I would
this,
buy a bundle.
this shitty VIA chipset on your motherboard doesn't have good drivers, and so like
Yeah, I think
started-
I'd probably be waiting to see
Yeah.
like how this stuff shakes out.
So as soon as I
after all the
started-
system builders get it and shake it down.
So as soon as I started
Bundle's a
looking
good
into this
idea.
stuff, like I saw like, oh, ASRock put out a guide about which memory you should probably buy for their board, and I'm like, man, I don't want to deal with that shit.
Well, I mean,
Like-
it's timing wise, it's still kind of
Yeah,
like
it's very
certain timing.
early.
I never get those high end
If
ramp.
you, if you wait a few months, people will say like, oh, this stuff is fine. Just
Well, my
buy
thing
this.
now is I'm not sure if my motherboard has a fault in it that is going to fuck up the M2 drive that I just bought. It was one of the really nice Samsung ones. So now I'm like, every time my computer has a hitch, I'm going to be worried if I'm really causing like electrical problems to the stuff that's in there now.
Yeah.
So it's anxiety, man. PC gaming, it's full of anxiety. Highs are highs, lows are lows.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I've fucking tried replacing an M2 drive. I got the tiniest little screwdriver.
Those things are terrible.
Turn it sideways. They're never magnetized.
I have to take my CPU cooler out to even get to that thing. Like it's right underneath.
oh,
there.
wow.
Oh, mine's on the back of the
The
board.
design
It's
is
actually
that's not
that's
bad.
really nice.
The M2 is a great little boot drive system thing, but it should be a snap-in thing. Just snap it in and have a little, unplugging a video card.
Oh yeah,
Just
yeah, little
tip it
tines,
in.
tongs,
I
something.
don't know.
That
who-
little tiny screwdriver.
Also, there are like 3 different physical configurations, so you don't even know if which one is
Oh,
going.
yeah.
There's
No,
all-
no. I'm talking about the like literal physical key, how it fits in there.
Oh, there
There's,
should be flip-flop because
3
there's a
different
notch
ways.
on each side.
Yeah.
It should be either or, but yeah,
it's
man.
insane. It feels like something from 20 years ago in PC design, not like modern stuff.
My computer was rebooting and locking up for like 2 months before I finally went ahead and bought the new, because I had to, because the Windows drive was not booting. And now I'm just full of anxiety. Like, am I fucking up another M2 drive? But hey, maybe it's time for a fresh slate. Anyways, emails.
Maybe.
Thanks, Brad.
Sure.
Thank you, Rory.
Just write in about your PC builds. Bombcast@giantbomb.com. Only expert advice here. Lori from Finland wrote in about FIFA.
Oh, wow.
Several people wrote in about FIFA, but I pulled this one. Just comment on the most recent Bombcast and the discussion about surprise mechanics.
Yay.
You were wondering why FIFA hasn't created a similar outrage to Battlefront, and I think it might be because FIFA has several game modes. I've played FIFA for years, but because I don't play the Ultimate Team game mode, I never come into contact with any microtransactions. With Battlefront, there isn't a similar choice.
Right. That's a good point.
The Ultimate Team was originally added as an extra game mode, so the card packs appeared in some offshoot you could ignore.
Yeah.
Not so much in Battlefront. I guess the Ultimate Team might be the most popular part of the game these days, but it was never forced on players. There wasn't a specific outrage moment to rally around. You could always play your old favorites. So
That's when you get the player cards and like foil cards and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
and everything. Yeah. It always
If
seemed-
anything, sports microtransactions have been people angry at 2K over NBA. Like there's the way that they've done stuff on that end with microtransactions. People were up in arms about that game past couple of years. I don't remember the specifics of it, but people not thrilled.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Battlefront is like right there in your face main mode.
it was like the
Whereas-
only way to progress.
And Magic the Gathering Arena too, just right in your face, all those booster packs. It's crazy.
Matt from Columbus, Ohio. I just listened to your internet issues with accessing neighbors' yards. The same thing happened to me, but the technician just hopped the fence and said to me, they'll be cool with it if they're home. They're probably not home anyway.
Good way to get bit in Oakland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or shot.
Would you
Yeah.
be more likely to switch to Comcast if you dealt with a technician like I had? Or would you let the ends justify the means as long as you have internet access?
How are we gonna know before they get there? Like,
Yeah, you're
very-
not.
I would not. Fucking Fruitvale. You hop a fence, there is going to be a dog on you pretty quick.
Not a good idea.
Yeah, I'd be more hesitant to deal with somebody who's jumping fences. Honestly, like,
Yeah.
are they going to do that work right? If
I
they're already,
I would deal with it. Whatever it takes, man.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes to get me my internet. I don't care how many fences they jump, how many dogs they dodge.
There was another, I think GameSpot ran an interview
give
with
them
Phil
a tip.
Harrison.
Oh, yes, I saw that quote.
they'll
going
catch
around.
up. Don't worry about it.
They'll
man.
figure it out.
It's just like-
ISPs will adapt to what consumers need.
Like what everything is pushing in the opposite direction between net neutrality, all this other stuff. Like their adherence to that being their answer to that question almost makes it seem like they've got some secret internet they're working on that they can't tell you about yet.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we've solved this problem. We just haven't announced it yet. Like it's starting to sound like, no, what? That's crazy. Unless you're announcing fucking Internet 2, we solved that problem.
Yeah.
Which,
Middle of
5G is, that's people are looking at that as maybe being it. But it's baffling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen the 5G like speed tests? Of
Yeah.
people? Like a 1.5 gigs over wireless. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But of course, that'll be
the range,
unlimited.
the range on 5G is
Yeah,
fucking terrible, though.
Well,
so that's not
San
a
Francisco was
good
also
solution.
every older apartment building here has chicken wire in the walls,
Nice.
which even the Wi-Fi doesn't really work through a lot of places I've lived. So
We all live in Faraday cages.
basically, so
Safer than the alternative.
I have to say I have had some fantastic experiences with the actual techs on the ground from Comcast who come out and do stuff.
sure,
Yeah.
me too.
Although my understanding is they may not have actually even been Comcast employees. They may be contractors.
Contractors.
But like my cable line apparently went over the top of my building at one point, or back when I had cable, and the dude came and spent an hour in the rain on the roof, like fixing where the line was frayed.
Yeah. We had an AT&T
like,
guy come out like Valentine's Day, stayed there for like 5 hours hooking up our fiber.
Yeah.
That we were going to subcontract through Sonic. He's a super nice dude. So I know people have bad. I think people's customer service problems are more like time windows being bad, and also trying to cancel some of the stuff is impossible.
Mine's been like a lot of phone support stuff.
The problem,
being
and also just
super
like,
bad,
and also just straight up like billing practices.
Yeah, exactly, and just like the
package
nature of their
offers.
business is
Like the problem is generally at the corporate level.
yeah,
Big surprise.
yeah.
Let's see. Got an email about a dude's rural internet. If I can find it, since we're talking about it. Here we go.
Speaking of chicken wire,
Yeah. RJ from good old rural Virginia here. All of the recent talk about bandwidth speeds and download limits has made me pretty jealous. I've included a screen cap of my most recent network performance to give you an idea why. He's got a download of 0.41 megabit.
there you go.
Luckily, I'll be moving soon, and I'll be able to upgrade to a blazing fast 6 megabit DSL connection.
Wow.
As of now, my solution for downloading mandatory updates on my giant-ass PC is to lug the whole dang thing about 45 minutes away to a relative's overnight, a process I do on a monthly basis, ritualistically in the name of gaming.
Damn.
Does he say where specifically he lives?
Just rural Virginia.
So
Like,
rural
well,
Virginia,
This kind of stuff breaks my heart, man.
you got to live near
It's
Charlottesville.
these emails. They really get me.
Charlottesville or Blacksburg, like the big college towns will have pretty good internet around them. But then a lot
further
of
out you
Virginia,
get,
yeah,
yeah.
it's going to be pretty crappy.
He ends by saying, my question for y'all is, what is the most ridiculous thing you've done for gaming in order to circumvent some restrictions so you could play your favorite games?
Yeah, I feel bad for this guy.
I brought my Genesis, or I guess maybe I got it that year, but I brought it up to my grandparents' house and they didn't have electricity. And I made them run their gas generator late into the night so I could play Phantasy Star 2.
Nice.
That's probably the most fucked up thing I've done.
Yeah, that's a long game.
How
too.
old are you?
That's-
That would have been like, what, 88, 89, something like that. So I've been junior high.
Okay.
Can't think of anything like that. Just more, I remember the old
Yeah.
days of like boot cards, like DOS boot cards, having to shuffle memory around to get something to work. That was more self penance than making anybody else go to.
I had to
trouble.
buy a-
Whatever, man. That was a rite of passage.
Yeah.
I had to buy a new computer for MechWarrior 2 or
Okay.
3, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like a 500 gig install, and holy shit. If you wanted the movies, anyway.
Yeah.
And you did.
Yeah, and you totally wanted the movies. Or
At that
800
point-
gig or something.
I would almost say that dude should bring his
Or
PC out to
megabyte.
like a Starbucks. Like
Mm.
maybe Starbucks has
Yeah.
shitty internet
maybe
too.
they
but
wouldn't. Yeah.
you don't want to be that guy.
I'm trying to think if there's a way to just like rip the hard drives out and
You can. I mean, Steam will. If you can point Steam to an install directory, even if it doesn't
Yeah.
have the
Yeah.
game installed, it'll identify it. And like,
Yeah, the Steam install directory is like portable. You can slap it into another installation.
I wonder if it'd work on a USB drive. It'd be really
Yeah,
slow.
I'm not
but,
sure.
That dude probably needs a portable hard drive, like a good 3 terabyte something that he can just pop out and bring over.
Yeah.
That would work.
Here
Not a
is
bad idea.
here is a Matt, also from Virginia,
Hi, that's me.
with a link to a Reddit thread, which we don't even need to look at to answer his question. Please tell me this is Adam Boys wearing an Oculus
It
Quest while
is.
charging a Tesla.
Yep.
Totally is.
Top of our game.
That is definitely him.
and his son.
I think he made it to the front page of Reddit
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
what I saw.
Not just gaming, like the front page.
Also, he and his son have been cut out of that photo and been photoshopped into many other backgrounds now, so he's reached that level.
Tremendous.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the best part about it was that his wife is the one who
Yeah.
posted that photo
From like a mile away.
and
too.
lovingly mocked him about it. It's good stuff. Kevin, with the announcement of the Medieval remake, what other also it's got a question mark after Medieval, as if that needs to be justified. What other PlayStation games would you like to see get the same treatment? Brave Fencer, Musashi, Tamba, and Time Commando were games that I think of fondly from that time. Thanks for all the entertainment.
I need Tamba. Give me that pink-haired boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Ape Escape.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't
The
even
original,
joke here. We need a new Ape Escape.
the original Warhawk,
Yeah.
with like a
Huh.
Ace Combat type engine,
Sure.
would be fucking.
I
Rad.
can see that.
I like the original Warhawk a lot. Never played that like online one that they did.
This is a different thing.
Yeah.
It was neat.
Pardon my coughing, by the way.
Yakuji the Heartless.
I've said it recently with the Final Fantasy VII remake coming out, but they should put Tobal #1 back out in
Yeah.
a modern form.
Oh man,
I don't even need like a graphical remake of that. Just
I just
like
need
make
it to be smooth as
but
butter.
yeah, of course, I
like,
guess you could just
oh.
use an emulator for that.
What was
Yep,
the,
But just have that game in widescreen and high res, and I'm
Yeah.
good.
what was the fighting game with like one touch kills?
Bushido Blade.
Bushido Blade.
Yeah.
Fun.
Dude, yeah.
New 100 Bushidos. Land on a forest.
Okay. That would actually be kind of cool.
It would be kind of cool to be honest.
I wouldn't mind messing with some of that stuff.
Go back and do an
Actually-
HD remaster of the old Kingsfield.
Like specifically like where sort of PlayStation 1 emulation is at.
It's interesting. You can turn up the internal resolution quite a
Right.
bit,
Yeah.
sharpen up those edges, and
Oh, that's right. I
like-
saw somebody was working on adding like depth of field to some of those games, like
Yeah.
Tomb,
Oh,
Tomb
wow.
Raider.
Yeah.
Um,
some interesting concepts that are, coming along.
yes, I would like
that
to
we've
see
heard of.
some of that stuff. Actually, Paul from San Jose has a question about this. I've always been curious about emulation and the legality of playing or talking about emulated games in video and podcast content that you put out. Emulation has felt like a gray area, and I'm uncertain about what exactly is and isn't okay. Do you guys worry about legal ramifications when playing emulated games on the site? I know Jeff has a massive collection of games, and I believe has the ability to rip them and create his own ROM files. So I assume that maybe that's what you guys do, or maybe it doesn't really matter and it's not an issue as long as you aren't distributing ROMs.
You think about like Twitch.
Yeah.
I think that was the shift in terms of just like, is it okay to show emulated content and stuff like that? And like how much of Twitch's like retro game streamers are emulating that stuff? You know, like think about Twitch plays Pokemon. Twitch got behind that in a major way.
Right.
And like promoted it.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't have happened without emulation.
Yeah.
It was, the whole thing was based on, look at us hacking this game and doing all these weird emulation tricks and stuff. Like the whole concept
Nintendo's
was
like
rooted in that.
The most the people who are
Talking to the microphone.
Talking to the microphone.
Sorry, Nintendo's most like litigious about this kind of stuff too. I would assume.
Probably.
They were the
I'd
ones that
say.
were definitely like out there saying emulators are illegal.
Yeah.
Which they, I believe, have not said that specific thing in a while, considering that they have emulators in the fucking Switch.
Yeah.
Um,
We've definitely spent a tremendous amount of time over the years wringing our hands about
Yeah.
whether that was cool or not.
But at the
to
end of the
do.
day, like I think it was a feeling of just like, okay, it's going to be easier for us to play this stuff and capture it this way than it is to do all this stuff. I started going down that rabbit hole of buying the scan converters and SCART cables and stuff to do it the other way. In some cases, it's like that stuff is still not worth the hassle. So yeah,
But yeah,
you know.
once everybody else started doing it, it was just like, eh,
It, you know,
okay,
it
maybe
just
people
became
don't-
a thing.
maybe
of just like,
people don't
you know,
care.
Yeah, exactly. It was more of a thing of like people don't actually care about this, and like Twitch is like living proof of that.
Yeah.
So, you know, floodgates are kind of open on that stuff.
Yes.
I think.
A lot of the stuff.
For me, it was like it was specifically like Twitch plays Pokemon was that inflection point of just like, oh, no one really gives a fuck because now you've got press releases going out about this incredible phenomenon that is built on this specific fucking thing.
Yeah.
So
Turns out Twitch doesn't care about a lot of things.
yeah.
Let's see here. Wildly inappropriate question is the name of this email.
I love this.
Mark from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Still blows my mind that they made an NES game out of Oliver Stone's Platoon
Mm-hmm.
and that I played it as an 8-year-old. Can you think of any other wildly inappropriate or unexpected properties made into games?
RoboCop.
RoboCop.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean,
Like,
yes.
that started in arcades, and
Yeah.
you know, Narc came out in arcades.
Well,
It was
RoboCop-
gruesome.
Narc's a good one, yeah.
The 80s had a lot of like there were RoboCop toy lines like
Yeah,
advertised to
yeah,
kids and
totally.
everything like that.
There's
so
the
it was-
Rambo
I
cartoon.
was just going to say, like,
Yeah.
the transition from the first Rambo, what that movie's about, to
Mhm.
what it became.
Right.
It's kind of ridiculous.
My uncle took me to
Um,
go see heavy metal when I was like 6
Yeah.
or 8 or something like that. That was kind of inappropriate. Thanks, though.
but awesome.
Custer's Revenge,
Right.
Sure.
probably.
That was a little lewd.
Conquer was a weird one when it came out, Bad for a Day and all that kind of stuff. I
Eh.
mean, people read the line. Conquer felt like more like, hey, we want to be controversial.
Yeah.
Like we
Conquer
wanna-
felt like, oh, check out how naughty this is.
Yeah.
And then how naughty is it? Answer, not very.
Yeah. Even like it's hard for something like Leisure Suit Larry to keep up with the amount of filth that's produced. Like that even seems the new ones just seem bad.
Oh, yeah, it was terrible.
yeah,
it was just a terrible game. But yeah, like now you got me thinking like what would actually like if you tried to make Leisure Suit Larry now, but took into account how filthy the world is now. What is that game?
Yeah, I wonder if he upped his game because I had a game come out somewhat recently.
Yeah,
We played
I
on a
wonder
stream.
how-
Yeah, I think it's terrible.
It was-
holy
yeah.
shit.
You had to
Just
guess the answer, like-
Opposite of it was comedy.
Wow.
It's not even.
It's bad stuff.
Yeah.
Email from Dylan. So my uncle is into gaming but doesn't keep up with news. When I told him they were working on original Xbox backwards compatibility, he got very excited because it meant that he might one day be able to play backyard wrestling on his Xbox One X.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Every time I see him, he asks, when will they put backyard wrestling on the Xbox One?
Never.
How do
Answer is never.
How do I break the
Aw.
news that with the announcement of the backwards compatibility program coming to an end, his dream of playing backyard wrestling on a modern console will never come true?
I mean, there's that, but also like if you think about the licensing and stuff that went into
Totally,
the
yeah.
music and characters of stuff to make that game, like it's just the deals would never get
Aren't
done
there like
again.
a ton of celebrities in those games?
I don't know.
Well-
Celebrities is maybe not the
People,
term I would use.
people of a level of fame that you would need to get their likeness rights.
yes.
Tila Tequila.
Was Teal?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
She sounds like she would have been.
I don't think that's the
The
case.
insane clown posse would have to be
Yes.
contacted.
Yes.
Nobody wants to do that.
Wasn't Andrew WK in those games?
Fucking, I don't know, man.
I mean, I interviewed him for a
Madman
backyard
Pondo
wrestling.
was in one of those.
Oh, wow.
games,
Maybe he had a song in it.
Yeah. But yeah, like the soundtracks and a lot of other stuff, licensed music, licensed characters,
Yeah.
are the things that are like the death knell for those sorts of games because you have to go out and do all those deals all over again, and then you're like, is it worth it anyone's time to go do all these deals again to sell 9 copies of Backyard Wrestling on the Xbox One X? No. It's sad, but that's how it is.
But so was Backyard Wrestling.
Yeah.
The image of a dude's uncle who is super into backyard wrestling, though, I find.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Is he a
Highly
former
amusing.
backyard wrestler?
I'm guessing so.
Hopefully, if Dylan is listening, let us know what your uncle's involvement in the scene was.
I was contacted by those guys.
Yeah?
Yeah. The federation that I was part of. Yeah, they reached out and they got some footage of us, and some of it's in the end credits, I guess. So none of our characters made it in the game, but
You ever had a fluorescent light bulb broken over your back?
no,
Or
I
head?
never have. Nope. Nope.
It sucks.
I'm sure.
It-
I would not mess around.
I
with
held
that.
my breath the whole time.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a wise thing to do.
These things explode.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
Like I've said it before, it hurt more than I thought it would. I
Yeah.
was wearing like layers of clothes, but it's still just like the blunt
Pops.
impact of it
Yeah. Also,
was way harder than you'd think a light tube would be.
Also,
You think
these-
it would just like,
these dudes are doing it shirtless.
oh yeah. that
Think
was-
about the micro lacerations.
So
or
the
whatever.
wrestling event that happened in
Oh.
coordination with CEO, the final match was a good old fashioned hardcore match.
Yeah, that spot without with thumbtacks and the
Ooh.
bare feet.
Yeah,
Mm,
dropping the foot. Yeah, that
was
was
something else.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought you were going to bring up the unprotected chair shot, and that was
Well,
Oh.
that was
a little gross.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
All
didn't
right.
seem like it needed to happen.
Sounds rough.
And the stuff they've said after that about how that was not meant to go that way, blah blah blah. I was like,
Oops.
all right, I get you wanted a shocking moment on your show, but
right.
also this is the free tie-in show that went with a fighting game tournament. Like,
Yeah.
it was kind of a goofy, weird show anyway. It just didn't need. It was weird show. Fun
All right. Tim from Indiana.
watching dudes get thrown onto barbed wire. I feel like it's been a long time since
It's
I've
been a
seen
hot minute. Yeah,
that where someone pulls out the like
Good.
gimmicked board with barbed wire attached to it, and you're like, all right, I guess we're doing this.
Moxley just looked like he was enjoying the whole thing.
Yeah, it was a
That-
fun character
yeah.
moment, but at the same time, I don't know that like those matches were a lot more entertaining when I was like fucking 14.
I was surprised he didn't set anything on fire.
All right. Tim from Indiana. Subject line: chicken and waffles do not belong together.
Oh, yes, they do.
I'd like to clarify that this is not I don't like chicken and waffles. Taste does not factor into this. Waffles are a breakfast food. Chicken is not. If I'm eating breakfast food, even if it's breakfast for dinner, I'm not eating non-breakfast food with my breakfast food. Additionally, I can eat only chicken for breakfast, but that does not make it a breakfast food. It's like eating leftover pizza for breakfast. That doesn't make pizza a breakfast.
I mean,
I think if
you're
you
eating eggs for breakfast. That's literally a chicken, right?
Yeah.
Essentially. Well, it's the beginning stages of a chicken. Once upon a time, could have been a chicken.
You're opening a lot of
Yeah.
controversial doors.
I know,
I don't
I
know
really
if we
am.
want to really answer the nature of these questions.
Listen, the thing is you can when chicken's on a waffle,
Mhm.
you can eat chicken anytime.
That's true.
You know.
Also, you guys can rebut this guy if you want, but I have to confess I actually pulled the wrong chicken and waffles email.
Okay.
I don't think I actually meant to read that one.
And also, I think we can prove,
Yeah.
after our show on Friday, Unprofessional Fridays, that you can eat mozzarella sticks on pancakes and in pancakes.
Don't
and
suggest it, but it
you
can be done.
You can do it, and it is okay.
Yeah,
I was in Mexico recently. They had a burger with 2 mozzarella sticks, like
Okay.
Mhm.
sideways
sure.
through it. Pretty
That's-
tasty.
that
Wait,
sounds
through
good.
the patty?
Mhm.
No,
just
on
on
top
the-
as
okay.
a
I
topping.
was gonna say that's like
Um,
Jack in the Box.
I didn't
sells
have it. It
those.
was
Yeah.
That's all the
almost
regular.
a Juicy Lucy, huh?
All I'll say about chicken and waffles is that I've come to realize lately that when I go out to eat, we went to LA for a week and
Mhm.
Mexico for a week, and apart from that, I've been, I feel like food serving sizes are way too big in America now. I've kind of come
yeah.
to the realization that I whenever I go out, I eat about 2,000 calories worth of food.
Yeah.
It's probably too much.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, probably.
maybe-
There's a restaurant like it's a diner type thing where they mostly
Yeah.
do breakfast, but like
Mhm.
I haven't been there in a long time, but like their whole selling point is big portions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like portions are already pretty large. So when you go to the place that's like, we got big portions, motherfucker, like you sit down and it's just like, it's a dump truck full of food that pulls up to the table and it's just like, suck down these biscuits and gravy, motherfucker. Don't stop.
I'm kind of coming to.
And I'm like, okay, that's
Yeah.
why I came.
Is there a claim jumper around here?
No.
Yeah, I think there are some claim jumpers, or at least
Oh, yeah.
Black,
Clear.
Black
Not near me.
Angus.
Okay, yeah.
There's some other
I've
grill
never-
houses, kind of things.
I've never been to one, but I've heard things.
Kind of like every time I go out to eat now, I realize, or for a long time, get an appetizer, mac and cheese. Like I'm full by the end of that, and I still have an entree to come.
Hell
and I
yeah.
eat that too. I just feel shitty for the rest of the day. I had
Hell
a
yeah.
burger on Sunday at a diner after a big thing of nachos that we shared, and I just like I was got a lump in my gut for the rest of the day. I
Yep.
guess.
Yep.
I don't mean to speak ill against chicken and waffles. Is there another email about chicken and waffles coming up? Okay.
Here's the email I actually meant to read about this subject
Perhaps a more positive one.
from John. Heard you guys talking about chicken and waffles, so you're coming at this all wrong. You've
Okay.
got to put honey on the chicken and gravy over the waffle.
No.
Nope.
Syrup
No.
is
Syrup
the
on
crazy
everything.
Police.
I'm not sure that I can get behind that.
Dude, fucking gravy on a waffle. I
Yes.
would like to hear more.
What kind of gravy?
I don't know.
Yeah, we talking a white sausage
Yeah.
gravy?
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, let me think. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. It'd have to be.
well,
Yes.
you're not naturally going to be making sausage anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so
Okay.
you'd have to go out of your way for it. But I don't know. I could get down with the brown gravy on a waffle.
Get down with the brown.
I mean, you got the chicken drippings anyway.
True.
Just make
Yeah.
make your gravy out of that.
Okay.
I'd give it a shot.
Yeah.
I think
sounds
I'd
all
feel
right.
a lot better about the whole thing if it was like boneless chicken and I could, just kind of eat it all with a fork and have it be a huge mess
Sure.
instead of having to like pick up muck with my fingers.
Yep. That's the thing about
Yeah.
maple syrup, especially.
Yeah,
Just
totally.
fucking,
Like, yeah, put maple syrup on a piece of fried chicken that I'm picking up and eating. No fucking thanks. Just my whole face is sticky. My hands are sticky. Like, fuck that. Who has time?
I have a waffle iron at home. I'm just saying.
All right.
All right.
I have a good gravy recipe. I'm also just saying.
All right.
If you're not there to revel and wallow in it, what's the point?
Tune in on Wednesday.
Oh
If
boy.
you're not,
No.
it's like ribs. If you're not making a mess,
I don't eat ribs. I like
Yeah,
that's
dude,
that's
that
my,
is a
my
hassle.
my response to that is just like fuck ribs.
Dude,
I
you
just
know
don't.
the worst
that is
though
a-
ever. Shrimp boils. You know
Yeah.
they bring out the big
Yeah.
bag full
Oh,
of
those are
stuff,
fun.
and you're just
Yeah.
it's fun.
crawfish.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude! Though you wash your hands like
You-
3
you
times.
Might as
Yeah.
well take a shower when you get home.
You know, God damn it! And
but
then
it's good
also,
as hell.
if you have any kind of like hangnail or a cut on your finger,
it's all bad.
ah!
Yeah.
That's my impression of it.
Way to-
We
way to-
love the shrimp boil. Do not love the process of chopping off the shrimp heads.
Just envisioning a T-shirt that says "We love the shrimp boil."
So you're wearing Alameda, man.
Yeah.
It's the one thing you do.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and I don't.
Yeah.
Every time, like, oh man, this is time. I'm gonna peel these shrimp, no matter
good.
how long it takes. Nope, you get the head off, and then like, okay, I guess I'm eating the shell because it's too fucking
Ah.
wet.
What?
My
Take off the tail, the head, and then as many of the little crawler things as you can, and then after
that's
that,
not how you peel shrimp.
you can't get it off because it's all slick. You're wet.
no, you can do it.
You're just not doing it right.
It's whatever. It's
Yeah,
shell.
try harder.
It's
My best
it's
friend
easier to
just
get
gets
it off when it's slick. I find.
What if your hands are slick too, though? Because you just slip
No, that's what you want. Yeah.
gotta-
And it's super hot and it's super
You gotta
spicy.
split it underneath between the legs.
I need
and
some
peel
techniques for
around.
sure.
Yeah,
me
I'm
too.
with that. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
My
Pull the
best
tail,
friend,
tail
though-
off first, and then yeah.
He just eats it whole.
Phew.
He's a fucking monster.
Not the head too,
Yeah.
no?
He rips the head off and
Yeah,
then eats
head.
it with skin on.
That's what I. That's,
hell?
that's
I
how
just-
I do too.
I can't.
I can't take as. I want the shrimp in my mouth.
I'll just peel the shrimp for you next time.
Thank
all right?
you.
You know?
Coming out.
The sushi place we go to, when you get sweet shrimp, they like 5-10 minutes later they bring out the deep fried heads of the shrimp.
No.
Delicious.
I don't
all
need
the
to
Okay,
see
no,
those.
yeah, but if you deep fry the whole thing, bad boy's amazing.
All right. So real quick, while we're on the subject of food, though, I was in Mexico for a week, and my fiance has been looking for one special taco for a long time, and this might gross some people out. Be worried about it.
Go on.
So we went to the basically it's a small town called like 12,000 people, not super big. We went there Saturday night. Kind of everybody's does this thing where they walk around the plaza, like the kids, boys and girls, small town gossip people, so they can't really date or hold hands or anything like that. So the boys will walk in groups and the girls will walk in groups, and they'll look at each other and just kind of like, "Hey, baby, how you doing?" without ever be able to say anything to each other because it's a very Catholic town. Like if they know when you touch a girl, your grandmother knows right away. Abuelita knows it
Yeah.
insanely. So, we were looking for tacos late night. None of them had carne. There was no carne asada to be found because a quinceanera had happened earlier in the day. And the most
it's
popular
just like-
taco dude
yeah.
had gone and had sold all his meat.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm weaving a fable here. But my fiance has been looking for one special taco. It's an ojo taco. Ojo means eyeball. And she...
That's cow eye.
So nobody had carne, but this one stand had cabeza and ojo, eyeballs and brains. Those are the tacos you could get.
Yeah.
She had never had an eyeball taco. She's been looking for it for forever. The lady just has this big, like, kind of not hot plate with a piece of plastic over it for all the meat. Reaches under, fucking cow eye. Chops off the iris part of it forward. Like, you only get the back half of the eyeball. You don't get the
Good.
front half.
Good.
Okay.
Starts chopping it up. I'm just watching, like, oh my god. And she literally jumped up and down. My fiance,
Yeah.
like, oh my god, ojo tacos! Everybody come get one.
Everybody coming.
I had a bite of an ojo taco. It was it tasted like kind of like fried fat, like just fatty
Oh,
and
yeah.
gristly.
Yeah.
Not
Makes
great,
sense.
but
Yeah.
she was so excited. And that's my food story for the day.
Okay.
What does that have to do with the
No problem with that at all.
teenagers?
Oh, because we were in the plaza. That's like where everybody was going to get food. Also, the best churro I've ever had in my life. To wrap it around to churro waffles.
All right.
Okay.
It's Rory story time. Rory
Eyes
time.
are delicious.
Over now.
Rory.
Rory time.
I don't want to eat.
I don't like Rory time.
I don't want to eat eyeballs.
I do not particularly like the lengua they do.
Yeah.
Ah,
not
the
a-
leg
not a-
was so. Sorry.
Also,
Out.
I forget what it was called, but it was lip taco. It's something spelled very close to a labia taco, and it was she was saying this in a group chat. I also had labia tacos. And like, that sounds really weird.
It does.
in English.
Don't put that in the work slack.
Tell me more.
I'm done now.
Oh boy.
I had like a blood cube waffle once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
blood sausage kind of stuff is.
Yeah.
I had blood soup in Korea. Was not a huge,
Okay.
not a huge,
delicious.
not a huge fan.
So much iron. It's good for you.
Yeah, that's true.
Now you can feel better about chicken and waffles.
Yeah.
I've told you about what I've been eating.
Mhm.
You're welcome.
Garth writes in. A friend of a friend is currently working on a homebrew Metroid pinball machine. While he recently had it on display at an event called Pentastic, Steve Ritchie of Shao Kahn voiceover and Black Knight pinball fame
Whoa.
played it and commented that he liked the theme, but, quote, someone already has the license. What could this mean? Are we getting Nintendo pinball machines again? It didn't seem to turn out too well last time with Gottlieb. Curious to hear your thoughts.
Maybe he was just joking that like
Nintendo has the
owns
license
Nintendo,
for
yeah.
their own stuff.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
That was my first thought as well.
How's pinball doing?
Or
these
maybe
days?
maybe he knows something.
There's still
Bigger
you know,
than it's ever been.
Stern is
Actually-
still out there. Was it Jersey Jack?
Yeah, I will say at
the-
the end of this email, he said, also to touch on a pinball thing mentioned last week, you'll be happy to hear that the new Black Knight has great music similar in style to the Doom soundtrack.
There's a new
Oh,
like,
cool.
Yeah, there's a new Black Knight.
like is it one of those fancy $1,000 or $10,000?
They all are now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
maybe
the
not
bar-
10 grand, but
A lot of them are 7, 8. I know. Like the
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz one was like 8, 9.
I think the Tron one came in like a special limited edition one that was, you know,
new
had
Star
gold
Wars one
rails.
that's really good.
Oh, I
Yeah.
did see that at California
Mhm.
Extreme.
Steve Ritchie is 69
Hey,
years
nice.
old. So he's still kicking around.
I definitely.
Also, pinball aficionados have nicknamed him the Master of Flow
good name for a rapper or
Yeah.
like
due to the emphasis in his designs on ball speed, loops, and long, smooth
Yeah.
shots.
Mm-hmm.
also
Flowmaster,
nice.
Yep.
Nice.
There you go.
glass packs.
Probably not an official Metroid pinball machine coming, if I had to guess.
Anything's possible, but
It's true.
The licensing for the new pinball stuff is really they go after like there's a new Star Wars one that I've seen
Yeah.
the new Star Wars A New Hope like
pretty much
Star
all
one.
pinball machines now are licensed.
Yeah.
Like if they're
Oh, I'm
going to do
sure.
them, there are so few coming out.
But I'm saying the
but they're
licenses
all-
are
yeah.
big ones. Like
Right.
they are spending money on this stuff. Like it's not. It's weird because it's a big resurgence of the last like 10 years or so. It's been nice to see. I know it's expensive to maintain a bar pinball table, but I'll spend $1. I'll feel like a fucking failure because I immediately lose all
Oh,
my
yeah.
balls in like 20 seconds. So
I want to see the new Black Knight very much.
I didn't know they were doing one.
Yeah.
Black
There
Knight,
must be some
Black
kind of-
Knight 3000.
pinball locator
Yeah,
website.
I'm
I
sure there
assume.
is. Yeah, it has a subtitle. It's like Black Knight, fucking
Oh, really?
madness of the sword. I don't know what it is.
Returns. You're gonna find a lot of old
Sword of Rage?
Yeah.
Wow.
Black Knight Sword of Rage?
Yeah.
that
Who
it?
did the music for the original one that everybody loved? Was it a composer or was it a license from?
Oh, weird.
No, it wasn't licensed. It was
There's-
at,
3 different versions of this table.
Yeah, you got to have multiple price points for.
Yeah.
Your Dave and Buster's going to want a nice one. Your
Pro, Premium, and Limited Edition.
Ooh.
yeah.
What kind of prices are we talking about?
I don't. Let's see.
You got to
Contact the
contact
dealer.
a distributor if you
No,
want.
no.
Yeah.
Premium MSRP is $7,600.
We could.
What's
we
that?
can.
That's
Limited
fit that
edition.
in.
What's in our quarterly budget?
Yeah, totally. We could do
Limited
that.
edition is $9,000.
CapEx. There's some flex in the CapEx. I wanna
Totally.
say.
Oh, the Pro is only 6.
Hey,
I want that LE though.
Yeah.
So,
well, you get the LED. Is the screen like part of the
No,
premium?
the limited
Okay.
edition.
oh man, hang on. Game Sword of Rage features a legacy sound package composed and performed by Scott Ian of Anthrax,
Nice.
Huh.
adrenalizing the audio experience for players on their journey, and custom speech by Ed Robertson of Bare Naked Ladies.
I'm out. I'm out.
Damn it!
I don't think I've ever heard the word adrenalizing as a verb. Adrenalizing.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That's what it says right here.
Fucking bare naked.
So you were in with Anthrax and then out
Yes.
with
Yeah.
I get it.
Happy Canada?
It's Canadian content laws. They have to CanCon.
Equal time.
Ethan, which he says is like Nathan without the N, from Ohio.
That's a weird name or interesting name.
If you could only use one utensil for the rest of your life, which would you use and why?
We
You
have
cannot use any other utensils.
we have a camping spork that comes with a knife and a handle.
Right.
I would use that.
I
It
think that- I think
detaches.
I think that's cheating.
It's 100%
His-
within the
His actual, I editorialized here. His actual question was between a fork or a spoon, which I
Oh.
left out because I thought it'd be more interesting. But now
Well,
I see you're just going
hey.
to cheat the system.
Yeah, I got an answer for
So fork or spoon?
fork.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, a spoon.
A spoon. Yeah. I
You can eat soup.
I need soup in my life for sure.
Any
Yeah.
soup worth eating is
can-
thick
you
enough.
can still
be
cut
done.
it,
with-
cut
cut
stuff
with a spoon.
You can
Yeah.
pick up a bowl and drink it straight out of the bowl. Though.
Yeah, I'm
There
on
are,
that
you got
side.
soup options.
Yeah.
Soup options.
But also, I would probably go with a spoon because I think a spoon would be easier to sharpen up and use like a knife.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we in prison now? Like, is that part of
Yes.
it? Okay.
I was thinking digging graves.
Mhm.
Probably easier with a spoon. Yeah.
True.
Going with my first choice. A nice
Yep.
solid fork.
Chopsticks, if the options
True.
are more open.
True, but then how would you eat like a steak? Like so what? But
You pick up the whole
is your
steak.
hand
The whole
okay?
steak.
If you're still be able to use your hand, then maybe a fork would be better. A spoon would be better. But I don't know, like a good fork.
Steak on a steak.
I'm saying you could cut pieces of steak with a sharp enough spoon.
You could also just sharpen up a fork like that. Though.
Those tines are going to wear through a lot faster than a spoon
Mm.
would. You spent the time sharpening them. I don't know.
Spoon's the right choice. Sorry, Rory.
I agree.
Agree to disagree.
Email from an Audi entitled Donald Duck singing AC/DC's Thunderstruck.
No, yeah.
I did a search for this after the thought randomly popped into my head, but no dice. Please put this out into the world for me. Done.
Done.
I used to be able to do a pretty good Donald Duck. It's like a really. It's way in the back of your throat. It's
You have to actually be able to form words, though.
Now say thunderstruck.
I don't think I can do it. I can't do it on command.
Okay.
It's not a very good. I didn't say it was a good impression.
Someone, please.
There's a video of someone singing as Goofy singing "Wake Me Up" by Evanescence.
Yes. Wow.
So we're almost there.
Let's do a few more quick emails.
Goofy.
Zach from Savage, Minnesota.
Yeah.
It's so rare that my little corner of Minnesota gets mentioned on any podcast ever, so imagine my surprise when Marty's Auto in my town was mentioned last week. It was stated that a business called Marty's wouldn't be trustworthy, but I am here to inform you that they're actually pretty nice folks and very helpful.
Terrific.
So
Good to know.
there you go.
I'll be doing all my
All right. Editor's corrections.
all my business there.
Yeah.
Over at Marty's.
Don't want to malign any.
We need to start doing
Honest,
like
upstanding
classic
Marty's
rock
out there.
radio. And shout out to everybody working over at Marty's. Here's
Yeah.
some fucking
AC/DC,
Bachman Turner overdrive for you.
Um,
sung by Donald Duck.
Yeah. I can't do it.
I know
It's hard
I
to keep
can't.
the spit
Yeah.
from burning it.
Will sent in the Metal Gear Solid or Marianne Williamson quiz that's going around. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No.
I saw it but did not click on
He
it.
says he only got 12 out of 20. Do you want to take it or no?
Oh, sure.
All right.
I don't know. I didn't watch any. I don't know anything about Marianne Williamson.
Okay.
Yeah, neither do I.
Though the fact that this quiz exists paints a pretty clear picture.
I was trying to think how to describe.
Yeah.
Just very into self-help, love, new agey type.
Okay.
Probably some crystals involved,
Hmm.
if I had to guess.
One of these crystal grippers. I
Yeah.
gotcha.
That's the best way I can think of to describe it.
Okay.
Oh, how does this work? Oh, God, this is a pain in the ass because I actually... Okay, well, this is fine. I have to click our answers in, so we will take it together.
Okay.
Number 1. So sir, I have a feeling you know what you're doing. I'm going to harness love for political purposes. I will meet you on that field, and sir, love will win.
Not Metal Gear.
Yeah,
Okay.
not Metal Gear.
Probably
Okay.
Metal Gear.
All right, correct.
Which one?
Some of these are a little too easy because they went straight to love. Do you think love can bloom even on a battlefield?
Yeah, that's-
Maybe.
Yeah.
I believe it
I
can.
don't know if this is actually going to be hard enough for us to...
Yeah.
America is a country of liberty, a meeting of immigrants. Instead of simply assimilating, its citizens live alongside others. Their roots are varied, diverse. America has never been made up of just one people.
I'm going to go for politics.
Okay.
I'm going to say
No.
Metal Gear.
That's,
I like-
Metal,
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
Metal
I
Gear.
like Metal
Yeah.
Gear.
Huh.
A famously apolitical franchise, so I'm
All right.
Right, yeah. No
Yeah.
politics in that Metal Gear.
Maybe I'll just skip around here because some of these are a little too obvious. Only one thing matters, the purity of your mission.
That's Metal Gear.
I would be inclined to say Metal
Yeah,
Gear.
I'd be inclined to say Metal
No,
Gear. But
that,
yeah,
was,
wow.
that was Williamson.
Okay.
The universe is an infinite opportunity creation machine. The possibility of greater possibility is programmed into the nature of things.
Oh, jeez. The second one.
Pass.
That's the lady.
Yes.
So that could be like that. That
Oh.
could be cutting room floor from Metal Gear
Totally.
for sure. But
yes. Just beneath the surface, this isn't politics, it's black magic. Entirely a psychic battle. Use your shield of virtue and your sword of truth.
Second one.
yeah, not,
Plug,
not
plug
Metal
into
Gear.
Not
port
Metal,
2,
Not Metal Gear?
Not Metal Gear.
not Metal Gear.
Yes, that was her.
Yeah, Metal Gear is too consistent in its tone.
Yeah, I think you're...
yeah, like
It does go off the rails at some point.
here's one about a cardboard box.
I feel like this is a really good quiz if you have not played
Yeah.
the Metal Gear games,
Yeah.
but have just like observed them through osmosis or
Yes.
something. But
Yes, some of these. Every thought we think is like a missile delivering either harmony or chaos, and it lands on us.
Not Metal Gear.
not Metal Gear.
Okay. Yes, you're right. All right. That's all those I'm going to do.
Well, that lady's really all over the place.
Yeah.
That's some fucking far out shit.
Yeah. It was an interesting debate. For sure.
Are all those quotes from the debate,
I think
or is it just
so.
overall?
Definitely the one about meeting you on the field of battle with love
Yeah.
was from her closing statement.
Wow.
I just like I obviously I do care about that process, but I don't gain anything by watching it when there are that many candidates involved. Like,
It was a mess.
yeah, pare the field down a bit, and we'll talk. Get the candidates that actually
Definitely a mess.
might have something to say in a room
Yes.
together instead of splitting them across two nights.
Yes. It is also extremely obvious which,
Yeah.
say, 4 to
Fucking
6
stupid.
people actually have a shot.
Fucking
Right.
stupid.
Randy from Philly. I was up late because sleep is for suckers and managed to snag the Giant Bomb Alliance name in Metal Slug Infinity.
Nice.
Am I a bad person? These
Probably.
numbers just keep going up.
Oh, that's the
yeah,
that's-
I mostly took this email because what is Metal?
I think I
I
still have that.
I Googled Metal Slug
installed.
Infinity and I still wasn't sure what it was. Is it a
Uh,
straight up click? Or you know what? Actually, they described it as like an idle RPG.
yeah, that's kind of how they describe all of them because you're leveling up. You know, they're
I see.
actually all. I
Is
think I may have uninstalled it.
Is it an actual clicker?
I don't know. I played it through the tutorial
Hmm.
and then said, "Man, this doesn't seem very good," and then have not gone back. And then apparently, I've deleted it from my phone. So
All right.
Sorry.
There is a Giant Bomb clan in
good
there.
to know.
If anybody wants to get in there. All right. Let's do like 3 more emails. Rudy from St. Louis. With all this talk of Bloodstained recently, I had to write in about this. My wife and I just got back from vacationing at Mont Saint Michel in France.
Oh, that's so cool.
Which are you familiar with it?
It's the like
Which-
fortress that when the water recedes, you can like drive right up to it. I think
So he says, which serves as the castle pictured on the Symphony of the Night cover art.
it looks awesome.
Sure enough, there's a side by side here, and it is like literally the silhouette of the castle, like 1-to-1. I thought the connections ended there, but one of the displays in the Abbey tour, arguably the top thing to do there, featured the castle connected to an upside down version of the castle. I have attached a photo I took. Have the castle caretakers become aware of the game? Is there a deeper love behind the upside down castle than just extra innings in a Castlevania game? Am I going crazy? Please help me.
Yeah.
All research has led to nothing. And there is a straight up picture of some kind of glasswork thing display in the Abbey that is straight up the castle with the upside down castle
Wow.
connected to the top of it. It's
That's
pretty much
really-
exactly
I
the
don't
thing
know.
from the game.
Rudy from St. Louis.
That's weird.
It is really weird. So I don't know if
I think he's crazy.
maybe Iga took that tour
Yeah.
or,
Yeah,
or
probably.
other Konami employees took that tour
What were we doing in Fallout New Vegas? We sent a
tw-
bunch of people to
25 years ago.
backwoods to Nevada. So I'm sure concept artists and artists. I'm sure somebody saw that and true inspiration. But
Yeah.
who's to say?
There you go.
Did you try punching any walls to see if meat came out?
Yeah,
Right.
That's the real test. For sure. All right. A couple more. Here is John writing in asking for some advice.
Okay.
I recently ended a 10-year friendship.
Oh,
He basically wants to know who, if he's crazy or what here.
Am I the asshole?
crazy.
I'll try to condense this a little bit. I recently bought a used car from a nice old couple for a great price. My 03 Ford Escort was more money than it was worth, with me planning to move to be closer to my girlfriend in the coming months. I knew I would get maybe $250 at a junkyard for the car at best. My former friend of 10
Not at
years,
Marty's.
yes, as a girlfriend who needed a car. So I decided I would sell it to him for $100 because it's good enough to get to be a point A to B car for at least another 6 months. I
Man,
had
this thing's fucking bleeding out fast.
I had
if you're
already-
selling it for 6 months.
Yeah. I had already switched my plates from that car to my new car the day I got it months prior, and I found out later he didn't get the car registered and had it parked on the curb outside his house for 6 weeks without plates before he got a parking violation, which he then tells me it's mine to pay because he didn't register it yet.
Fuck that guy.
It was only $25, by the way. He makes more money than I do.
Wow.
Like, is that something you say as like a haha, that's your responsibility, haha?
The 10-day period passes, and I get a letter in the mail saying it's now $75.
You contact the DMV and tell them that you've sold that car and provide proof of the transaction.
Yeah, he called the police department, and
Yeah.
they cleared it up.
good.
I'm skipping over a
Yeah,
lot of the
there's a
procedural
there's a
details. Yes,
procedure,
that,
yeah,
that all got
there's-
taken care of. No, this is more about the... Anyway, he tells his friend that he has done all that, and they transferred it to the other guy's name.
So the
He's-
fine and
he's
everything
still-
got
he's
transferred
still-
to his name?
Yes, he
Good.
still texted me saying it's mine to pay with a picture of the parking violation at $75. I said it's not, and I already made it clear it wasn't my car to the police. And his last text to me was, and I quote, "Then consider this the end."
All right. See you later.
All right, man. Sure.
I almost thought it was a threat, and it feels like the dumbest thing I have ever lost a friendship over,
Totally.
and makes me question if it was really that good of a friendship to begin with,
No.
since I was cast out over something so stupid that wasn't my fault or responsibility.
Fuck that guy.
He asks if he's the asshole here, but like I
No,
feel like by the
no.
time we've gotten to the end of this, there's not even a reason to.
No, fuck that guy. He's
That
a piece
guy,
of shit.
that guy sucks ass.
Or he's like joking and you misread it because
Ugh.
that that would be a very funny thing to do to someone up to a point. But
I would be wary. People like that would be wary about how they're representing the situation to other people, because I've had some like
sure.
a couple of friends of mine had a really bad roommate situation where the roommate said something happened, the landlord to our friend said something else happened entirely, and the way that story came down was Rashomon all over again. So I would be the only thing I'd feel out how your friends are hearing the story from the other dude.
Like,
The-
yeah,
the-
mutual
A1
friends or whatever.
A1, fuck that dude, but also be careful about how he's
Yeah,
telling
I-
this
you-
story to
yes.
other people.
Yeah, I had a roommate situation, and then that guy who I had been friends with for a long time told like a very specific story that was like not at all accurate. It was just like, all right, cool, man.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
dude did you a favor.
Yeah, you know now, but he will tell that story to make you look like the bad guy to all your friends, guaranteed.
Some people are just scummy. All right, last email. Scott in Indiana. A brief encounter with a man named Alucard.
Guy should be sending that to. I mean, it's his girlfriend's car, right? It's
A friend of mine met a real-life man named Alucard out in the wild.
boy.
He was out walking at night when a guy walked up to him
Oh,
from behind and
jeez.
asked, "Hey man, do you smoke green?" My friend was caught off guard and asked, "What is that, a brand?" Keeping pace with my friend, the man walked with his bicycle beside him and a backpack with a baseball bat in it.
Sure.
As you do.
The man
Casey
then
Jones
introduced
show.
himself as Alucard.
That dude's name is not Alucard.
My friend did not know this was a name from a video game until he told me this story. At first, he misunderstood the name as Alucard or Alucard.
Yeah.
Caught off guard again, he responded by telling this man named Alucard his full name. Alucard helpfully did tell him Alucard is Dracula backwards. Alucard walked with my friend all the way into a gas station where he tried to set a pack of cigarettes close enough to what my friend was buying that the cashier would ring it all up together. The scheme
Nice.
did not work.
Yeah.
Devious.
There you go.
Fucking Alucard, man. You
Yep.
can't trust him.
I know, but that thing where somebody walking alongside you at night, I 100% would go to a gas station too, and probably just hang around for a long time until the guy got the hints. But I would be fucking creeped out if somebody did that to me on even like a busy downtown.
Yeah, totally.
During the day, I'd be fucking
Yeah.
weirded out. But
Yeah.
hey,
Mm.
Alucard.
Can't trust vampires.
No.
No, you
even
can't.
even if they are hunting vampires, you still got to be at least a
Yeah.
little wary.
Yeah.
Like Blade is still, he's still a day walker. He's still a vampire.
Yes.
Blade's
of
in the
sorts.
Avengers now.
He still is he?
Yeah, they put him in the Avengers in the comics.
Oh,
Huh.
I think it's probably one of those temporary team up things.
I was gonna say, are they gonna put Wesley Snipes in those movies now, or
I don't think it's a likeness. It's like the Avengers video game where it doesn't look like him at all. So.
okay?
Totally does. What are you talking about?
They should put Wesley Snipes in those movies.
I think they should bring Blade back, but he was so crazy on the set of Blade. You've heard the
Bring
Blade,
Blade back.
stories. Yeah,
Bring Blade back.
The most recent email in this account from
They should just have Wesley Snipes play himself in those movies.
Yes, I have no ill will against Wesley Snipes.
Yeah,
But,
just
he
put him in the Marvel movies as himself. He's just on the team.
burnt his bridges on Blade 3 a lot. I know. So
He's coming up with ideas. He's the idea man. He's like, well, when I was filming Drop Zone, and he's always got some story, and at the end of the story ties in, and they go, we should do that, and then it's cut to Wolverine and Cyclops doing it for real.
I would have loved the end of Endgame. Just have Blade show up on the battlefield and just like have slicing up Krill or whatever. Skrulls. I forget who the
Skrilla.
guy was.
I thought krill was the shrimp stuff you were eating.
What's the stuff from Gears of War? The Skrull,
Skrillex.
Skrillex. Yeah, playable character in Gears
Mhm.
5. Pretty excited about it.
Thanks, Brad.
Yeah, thank you.
You're
welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Bombcastgiantbomb.com.
And him.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, thanks for
Got a big week coming up. I don't know if we talked about what we're doing tomorrow, but I don't know if we have or not.
I don't believe we did.
All right.
Well, we're looking to, we're looking to stream tomorrow since
Yep.
we're out for the rest of the week.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's kind of our Friday. So
Yeah.
we'll do the UPF
They've-
thing on a different day.
Yeah,
Like
they've-
on a Wednesday.
They've made it a company holiday for Thursday and Friday,
yeah.
as is the law for Thursday, but as is their discretion for the
Fridays.
Friday.
Very
Yeah.
nice of them.
Um,
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll look to put on some sort of show tomorrow.
I'll save my question about what you're doing for the weekend.
We've got some ideas. Okay.
How about that?
Yeah. I think we'll have time to address that tomorrow.
Good.
For sure.
A little bit of a longer stream.
that's the hope.
Yeah.
Good.
That's what we're looking
Not
at.
spilling any
Mhm.
beans, but
Yes.
like to be prepared.
Yes. Keep your eye on the upcoming, I guess.
We'll
Yeah.
finally get to that Assassin's Creed DLC, huh?
Sure.
The what now?
Yeah, I don't know. We've been talking about what we're doing. I don't know that it's going to be a variety.
7 hours of Orcs Must Die too.
Good.
Ugh.
Man.
Co-op.
Wow.
Co-op.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be the traditional variety format or
Sweet.
maybe something a little more focused.
Yeah, we got these Mario games.
Yeah.
Apex Legends Season 2 started today.
Yeah.
A lot of seasons
Uh,
starting recently. Like
yeah.
TGA had a new season
I-
start up.
I'd be down to just make some levels and
Yeah. Yeah.
Path
mess,
of
mess with
Exile.
that stuff. But we shall see.
Yeah.
Uh,
We'll get into it, make some things happen.
yeah. All right. No after show this week.
That's right. Ben is out.
With Ben out.
There cannot be only one 3 a.m. boy.
That's
that
true.
would be pointless.
Yep.
What would you even do?
I don't have an answer for that.
Exactly.
It's never been asked.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. We'll be back with our stream tomorrow and another podcast next week. We will see you then.